What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? I'm the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Wardlow here.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to my birthday! And welcome to the dive bar of the RWC for a brand new episode 1. Lost my space. Again, it's time for a drink with your drinking buddies right here at Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show and every day is my birthday of all days. Now here's your host and drinking buddy, Marsh. Thank you, Marv, for a rousing introduction and smelling up my microphone. Hey, guys, we're all here. We got Nikki, we got Miss Amanda Jane, we got Marv. What else could we need?
I feel like Marv needs a date with Puppet Monet.
You know, when they started showing that fucking puppet, there's so many things about it I hated, and everything about it made me want to buy one so bad.
They didn't sell it, did they? Did they sell it?
I don't know. I've never bought anything from AEW.
Oh,
AEW store.
Same.
Probably not, because anything good they don't sell.
I haven't seen the replicas in person, but what I've seen on the site has not impressed me. And I recently saw they had a figure where I was like, this is so fucking clever. It's from a really stupid moment, and I hated it in live. But how clever is this? It was the golf cart chasing Sammy Guevara, and it had Kenny and Hardy inside of it. And I was like, that's so funny. The fucking cart is like not even cardboard. It's worse than cardboard. It's Happy Meal. Like, it's not a plastic cart.
Ew, that's stupid.
If McDonald's
make the car.
If McDonald's can get a crappy Hot Wheels toy made out of plastic, come on.
I will say, Jazzwares Toys is just not very good. Let's just chalk it up to that, you know. I mean,
They're not, but they
They
could be
didn't
better. Like, I mean, every time somebody did something crazy in WWE, like so when Braun Strowman broke that car, it was all like, oh, they will be releasing Braun Strowman with a car that breaks, and then they did. You get it. You see what's going on.
yeah.
It was a fucking car, though. It wasn't a piece of cardboard folded up to look like a car. You know what I mean? Like, just fucking go the extra mile there, guys. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, I just
Well-
saw a sticker that I think you might like.
Hmm.
I'm going to send it to you right now, Amanda,
Okay.
because this is pretty damn good. Go ahead, Gigi. What are you saying?
I don't know. I was just in shock and awe that they would do like one of those cardboard parts rather than like even a cheap plastic one, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Like,
cute.
come on.
Isn't that good? The
What's
chibi
cute?
Mercedes?
The chibis. I'll tell you, they did a really good job with those chibis because, oh my God, did I lose them? I'm gonna cry if I did because they don't
Oh
sell
my
them
God. Did you
anymore.
get a bunch?
No, I got the Ricky ones.
No, she got the only ones that matter, really.
Oh,
Well, no,
there's
they had
Abaddon. There's
couple other
Sting.
they had Powerhouse Hobbs. They had
Jay
Orange
White,
Cassidy.
Harley Cameron,
They had a lot
Brian
of them.
May. Well, she's still there. Strickland. His looks all right. Tony Storm
Mhm.
looks good.
Wait, did it have her
MJF
as
is a little weird.
timeless though?
Yeah, it's timeless. It's black and white
Oh,
with
I
red
haven't seen that
lipstick.
one.
There's a nice Danhausen one. RJ City is a good one because he's doing his thing, you know.
This little side eye
Yeah.
gimmick.
Darby's
Yeah.
on a skateboard. Willow looks happy as
course.
hell. These are good. You're right. It was a good set.
Yeah, those ones, the chibis, they did a great job with the chibis, I think.
Oh
Yes.
shit! Did you see they made chibi shirts?
No. Well, I'm pretty sure that Ricky Stark Saints isn't on there.
No, it's not there. The only shirts they
Chibi
have is
Stacks.
Danhausen, MJF, Darby Allin, Willow Nightingale, and Tony. And Orange
They should have
Cassidy.
made one.
There's Orange
They should
Cassidy.
have made one. They should
mean-
have made one.
They might have made one at the time.
No, there was never one. I always looked.
You-
He always had the worst shirts in his
He did have-
AEW run.
He did have
Period.
terrible shirts.
And one of them, I told him, he's like, "Oh no, I had a hand in designing that." I go, "No, you did not, because it looks like shit."
He's
You're a lot more bougie than that thing.
Well, no, because if you see his other shirts in comparison to what he had, yuck, trash. At least the
No.
new one, his NXT, his WWE shirt, is better.
Yeah.
But he did for his first shirt. Proud of him. It's not black.
It's yellow.
He knows. He
Yeah.
knows what's up. He knows what's up. That's a smart man. Just saying. Just saying.
I got the size matter shirt today with Stackhouse and Smalls. I got the red one.
I
You
need
know,
a red one.
like-
Yeah, no. Yeah, I need that.
And then
Yeah.
I got a message today from Clump alum, and he was
Mhm.
with somebody, I believe a family member. It was hard to tell, but they were wearing our original shirt, which was the purple one. That was
The purple.
and I mean our first shirt was purple because our colors were purple and gold. And we
Mhm.
all said we were sick of all the black shirts we have. And so I made
Yeah.
a purple shirt that was so fucking cool. I still think, as I look at it now, even I'm like, that might have been the best shirt that we ever made, to be honest.
we
but-
need new merch. We do.
You know, I think
do.
I'm gonna make a Stackhouse shirt. Just try and make
Oh
a
yeah,
buck off
the OG
that.
one.
Make a buck off his back.
Well, hey, it's it is what it is. So, anyways,
So what's going on? What's going on in everybody's glass? What's going on in your glass there? Digi, what do you got there? Science?
Kind of. It's Bird Dog Blackberry Whiskey.
oh,
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
why does that sound so good?
It,
And you have
it does.
coffee with you, I'm assuming.
Not really, but I do have a Yingling right next to me, just in case.
Okay.
So
Okay.
good. Where was I?
That's
Was I
fair.
in Texas? I
Bro.
think I was in Texas when I saw it last. I picked up like a 12 pack and brought it home. Couldn't have been more excited.
You got to
Of
come
what?
up here. I live only like 20 miles from the brewery, right?
Yeah.
So much better off fresh off tap.
Dude, it's the fucking best beer in the whole coast. And they act like it's a fucking cheap throwaway domestic. This thing like is better than most craft.
Yeah.
You know? There's
Is
amazing.
it better? Is it better than Pilney the Elder?
What?
Is that a cartoon?
Have you ever had Pilney the Elder?
Is he a friend of Dora the Explorer?
Elder?
No. No. Russian River Brewing Company. That one
There
they
it
say is like one of the best.
Pliny, not Pliny. What are you? Pliny the Elder. I'm looking at the bottle right now, and there's no way I've ever seen that in my life. This
Probably
is
not.
mistakable. This is not mistakable at all. I'm
Yeah.
sending you the link
Apparently,
so you can see.
people-
There's just no way.
People camp
All right.
out when they release it every I don't know. Anyways, they release something or one of the family of the elder, and yeah. Anyways, sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't mind me.
It's fine.
No, definitely not.
Marsh is like in deep thought because of that Pliny the Elder.
I have.
Well, I'm looking at all their products now. They got a bunch of beers. You had no idea. There's a whole lot going on.
Yeah,
here.
Russian River Brewing Company.
I'm looking at this tiny ass bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
that ain't enough.
Well, you get them a case at a time.
Yeah, but why do that when I can get a case of Yingling and be okay with it, or Heineken or something else?
Let's see if it's.
I'm a simple man with simple.
Oh my God,
needs.
they sell it in my neighborhood. It looks like. Wait, no.
Russian,
It found
they
me
should sell
and then
Russian
said no.
River Brewing Company. I mean, they sell
don't.
let's see.
Not on their website.
That's another one.
I
Heineken
must
owns
find
them
my
now.
locations. Shit.
Yeah, no. And it's interesting because they do not like they have a waiting list for their taps. And when we were opening the new hotel when I was working for Choice, we were on the waiting list and it did not move. Even if they were going to do some payola, like that's not how it works with these guys. So just so you know, just so you know what you're dealing with. Yeah.
I'd have to go to fucking Pittsburgh? No, that's okay, bro.
Yeah, well, maybe I can smuggle it because it's at my Whole Foods. So, yeah.
What are you drinking there, Amanda? What'd you say you have?
Well, you know
Soda?
me. Yes, I'm trying to get us sponsored by Buc-ee's because wrestlers like Buc-ee's. Okay, I like Buc-ee's. I went to my first one like last week.
Yeah, I saw a ton of pictures, and wrestlers do love eating beaver. That much I know for certain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was I didn't say that. Anyways, but
it's
I
not
do
wrong.
Where
were you going with that, Amanda?
Well, I was saying.
What do you?
I don't know. Well, here's where I was going with it. Okay, it's a new sponsored, not sponsored, and what's inside of this is frozen Coke from the Big Arches. We'll never get that sponsorship, but I'm just saying, Buc-ee's maybe
They sell frozen Coke.
They do.
Yeah,
like
they do.
What's the year?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't you have a slushy maker? Can't you make your own?
There's a brand new one by Ninja. I really want.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's the best one. It's almost like Slurpee quality. I'm really highly considering it.
As hard as you might think it is to make a Slurpee, though.
Well, I also have one of those cups that you do the slush, but it's too much labor. Yeah, but
see, that's the problem. It's not that you couldn't make one appropriately. You don't want to throw in the effort.
The labor. God forbid the labor. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to make those all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that. But then I decided that it's too labor intensive. And besides, I can go to McDonald's, buy one of these, and get a free French fry, medium fry. Win-win situation all the way around.
Good point. Good point. There's a walking distance of 2 different breweries now, which is a delight for me, and maybe for them. But I'm just having right now. It's their Mexican lager. They call it the Sexy Mexi.
Ooh.
I don't hate it.
Wasn't there a wrestler called the Sexy Mexi?
You're thinking of Sexy Star.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that might be.
It might be someone who's on the indies.
A lot of people use terrible names like that on the indies. That's for sure. What was it? There was Vanilla Gorilla in my area. And people things. Hey guys, check this out. This is terrific news. You're gonna love this.
Oh, okay.
Goldberg's
Oh.
kid got the same tattoo.
Why?
How fucking good. But on reverse shoulder, so it's different, right? Different shoulder, same thing.
But
Slightly smaller.
One has more hair than the other. Yeah.
But why though?
Well, that's the key to winning all your matches, Digi.
What one
Goldberg
move
is
5
very
seconds
good.
pissing off Regal?
Goldberg is so good at winning matches. He wins like
yeah, but
all
not
of them.
not good at performing in them.
No, but he wins them. We're talking about W's here.
Yeah, well,
W
He's
means
so
something.
good at winning. And now his son has been branded. He'll also win all the matches. So I think Braun Breaker's got to watch out because Braun's got his little tribute to Goldberg on his arm. You know?
What? He is too? Oh, Jesus.
You haven't seen Braun Breaker's tattoo?
He's got several.
He's got several. That's why I'm like, which one? Huh?
He's got the fucking Goldberg tattoo.
A lot of people have the Goldberg tattoo.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
You can let me do it?
Some have removed them or some have like have done a cover up. Yeah.
But it might be
Just-
why, it could be why that Braun wins so many matches.
Could be.
Maybe.
Could be.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what to say. But
I just got a kick out of hearing him do the Steiner math promo. That one time it made me happy. I was just like,
well,
that's what I was here for.
yeah. But then can we explain to me Miles Bourne?
Who?
He's Orton's
You know
son.
who Miles Bourne? Orton's son.
No,
Randy Orton's son.
that's the joke. Who?
Oh. No. Because he's now like, okay, so he's been wearing trunks now. He wasn't wearing trunks. And it's like they have the same fucking figure. They have fucking big thighs. Okay. It bothers me because they almost look identical. And then fucking Miles shaved his head and everything. And now he's got that big old fucking sleeve tattoo looking like his father. I'm like, geez, Louise. Is everyone looking like their dad?
Well,
Jesus, dude, why are all these fucking photos so hard to fucking... They're all these weird file types and shit. Now I've got a terrible picture of Braun Breaker we're going to use. That's not even a good fucking... God!
I don't even know where you're looking at. Did you go on the Google?
you could just, like, you have multiple monitors. Put it up on a browser. Screen cap that bitch.
Come
on now.
I'm getting these web.ps. I'm getting AVIFs. How come no one just has a goddamn JPEG anymore? Or even PNG? What are we doing here, guys?
Yeah, people are dumb. Are you just looking for the one tattoo that's on the shoulder? Is that what you're looking for? Okay, hold on. I got you.
And I'm getting like no good pics. And the ones that are good are fucking terrible images. So fucking stupid.
I can only see
Apparently
half of
Randy
it.
Orton also got a fucking started to get the Goldberg tattoo, and his tattoo artist convinced him not to. So if you look, there's a little bit of a tribal thing on Orton's.
Yeah.
It's because of Goldberg too.
That's
I'll have to
because the
find
tattoo
one.
artist has sense.
Yeah, I'll
What
have
the
to
fuck
find
are we
one.
doing here, guys? Jesus Christ.
I'll
I
find
don't know,
one.
man. My hands are clean of this one.
Yeah, well, anyways.
God.
Or you can be like certain people and just not get them.
There we go.
Yeah.
See, he's got his
That's
Goldberg right there.
tattoo.
I mean, it's
And he also used Just for Men on his beard.
Yeah. He colored it in.
it does kind of look weird, like that beard's just sort of photoshopped on.
No. You know what they do, right? Deuce talked about it when we were doing the pod.
Yeah, what about it?
Here's somebody who didn't listen. Called out, dude.
Good.
But
I didn't. Kind of person you think I am.
they use mascara. She was talking about Macho would color in his beard with mascara all the time.
Yeah, but
because
nowadays they have more sophisticated stuff.
What is it?
And I can tell you a wrestler who does it.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorites. It looks ridiculous every time he does it with his hair and his fucking.
I'm just trying to work
Coke
out
Cabana.
the Marsh look, but
Coke
lost this. This ain't going too well,
No.
Yeah,
I need to get my hair dyed because it's faded, but the back is purple. See,
I got a
like
beer with
purple.
someone the other day, and he goes, "What was he even talking about?" It was an old show, And he was just all like, "You're much older. You remember this show, right?" And I was like, "Yes," but I was like, you have to
But it
say
wasn't
like that.
anything that was old.
Yeah.
It's that inner monologue of "fuck you, I am not old."
Yeah. Fucking old asshole. Yes. Well, you know what? Why don't we get rid of the birthdays? Because
What? No, you got to do your birthdays. What's up?
let's get them out. So there were a couple birthdays I don't think we did the other day. So happy birthday to the new TNA champ. Celebrated his birthday with a W. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. I'm waiting for him to get his main roster run. He shouldn't be there. Him and Oba.
Trick?
But anyways, that's my yeah.
You think Trick's ready for the main roster?
More so than fucking Carmelo was.
I gotta mull that over.
I mean,
let me think about that.
Think about that one. Let's chew on that one.
Are you gonna try?
Carmelo's
Are you gonna try and claim that Carmelo's charisma was all Trick? Because he was hot when he was in NXT.
That I'm not claiming at all. Carmelo has charisma. I want to see him and fucking Ricky and going into something. That is the proof in the pudding right there with Carmelo Hayes.
I can get it.
Yeah, because he wasn't on the Indies long enough. Carmelo for fucking. I don't think Ricky ever ran into him in those circles. But anyways, a favorite of Marsh's in this podcast, Natty had a birthday, and I must say I love this fucking Natty that's developed since Bloodsport.
NWA heel Natty. Woo!
Mm-hmm. Woo! Why can't they bring that to WWE?
Because they don't have enough fans for her to slap at front row. Dude, Marsh, did you see that shit?
What part?
The part where the dude was talking shit to her at the NWA event. She smacked the shit out of him and floored him.
Oh, yeah. She smacked shit out of anybody. I was trying to figure out what that was, too, because she smacked the shit out of Kenzie Page, too.
Yeah.
And that was there was a reason for that. But then it felt like someone else was talking some shit.
Yeah. You totally would. You totally would.
Yeah. And then she's not going to fucking let someone do that.
No, not at all. Fuck no. And speaking of Braun Breaker, his fucking leader having a birthday. Seth Rollins, happy birthday, dude. Hornswoggle, happy birthday. Here's a funny thing. The Rock thought that Hornswoggle was a Make-A-Wish kid.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
I mean,
yeah, Chris Van Vliet on his interview. I'm like,
but
that's wrong.
Dylan's such a nice guy, though. He really is.
I mean, I thought Zelina was when I saw her backstage.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Spanky. If you know who Spanky is, happy birthday. If you don't, that's for you to figure out.
Yep.
Josh Alexander.
Poor guy.
Happy birthday. I don't know. It's still the fence is that the jury's still out on me, what I think of him in AEW. I just don't.
He's supposed to be that top commodity, but
yeah, but also, I kind of wanted to see the North again. But I'm not gonna lie. So walking away from that one. Konosuke Takeshita, happy birthday. And he's actually married now to the little cute little Japanese like genie little chick, Yuka Sakazawa, I think. But she's the one that looks like a little like she wears that like kind of I Dream a Genie kind of outfit.
Oh yeah.
So they're married. So congrats with that. Mm-hmm. Nia Jax, happy birthday. Fucking love her. Zach Knight, you all know who that is. Yep. Sorry, his brother. Happy birthday. Jake the Snake Roberts. Let's see who this is. Montez Ford. Happy birthday. Vampiro. Let's see here. Who is this? I don't know who that is, so we're skipping. MJF's girlfriend, Alicia Atu. Happy birthday. James Storm is celebrating a birthday. What's he doing now?
Shit. Last I saw, he's doing real estate.
Yeah.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got his real estate license.
Sorry about your damn mortgage.
I
I don't know.
That better be somewhere on a billboard, or so help me.
It should be. God damn it! I mean, I don't know. Lots of people. Joey Janela's girlfriend, the fabulous Megan Bain. I fucking love her. Marsh, have you gotten to see Megan Bain?
Yeah, she's solid.
Yeah. AJ Styles, Uncle Alan. Happy birthday. See, there's lots of people. Uncle
That's a lot
Alan.
in one little
Happy
short period of time.
birthday. Red Velvet, Jade Cargill, Velvet Sky, and of course, the brand new NXT Women's Champion, JC Jane. We'll talk about that later. Let's see here. And that is it. So if one of your favorites is having a birthday and we did not mention that, slide into my
Well,
DMs.
Bray's
And
was
we'll make
Friday,
it.
wasn't it? Yeah. Bray Wyatt's birthday was Friday.
Yeah, we braced for it just last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Marv's birthday.
It's every day.
How dare you?
I know this is the second week in a row I did that. I'm sorry, Marv. I know. I'm getting the evil eye. I know.
I gotta step away for a second.
I'm getting fired. Won't be the first time this week.
I'm going to figure out how to fold his fingers in next time.
Like a fist?
No, like a middle one.
No. Okay. Well.
Get a little piece of
Anyway.
Band-Aid. I think I can make it work. A little rubber band.
Oh, there you go.
Make it look like he's got a little finger coming up. That'd be pretty good.
Oh, this? Okay.
Yeah.
So where you're going with that one. So, gosh, like, I don't know. There's been so much like assorted wrestling shit going on. And I will say that because there's a lot of shit going on, you know? Did you hear about John Laurinaitis?
Yeah, Laurinaitis is rolling over on Vince in a different way this time, and he's going to join the prosecution against him. So sounds like Laurinaitis is going to get himself some immunity to stay out of it, but I think it's going to reveal a lot about him too. I think Laurinaitis is done for anyways. I think there's no coming back from any of it. That the more that comes out and he's not helpful on, the worse it's going to be, I think. So yeah, I think this is just his only option. It's this or prison, you know?
Yeah, and I don't think he'd do too well in prison.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to rule the roost over there.
Yeah. So this weekend on Battleground, Trick Williams, as I said, is now the TNA World Title Champion. There's a lot of mixed feelings. Nick Nemeth is pissed off. He doesn't like that. And there's a lot of people who are really upset about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your take?
I see zero good for this for TNA. This is as belittling as you can get for TNA. Like they have TNA come out there and present their goofy fucking clown show of a champion at Mania, get dominated by Randy Orton, and then, you know, he has his moment, and then he comes on to this show and is Trick still the NXT champion even? He's not, right?
No, that's Obafemi. Oba's been the
Obafemi.
champ for a while.
Yeah, he got it. Yeah. So you have this former champ pull it off of Joe Hendry, and for what? Right? This reminds me a lot of when TNA had the partnership with AEW, and they were flipping those belts around a lot, and all it did was ensure that the AEW guys were trying to look stronger than the TNA guys.
Yeah.
And I think it does nothing for Hendry. It does nothing for TNA. And matter of fact, if you show up, this is the whole like this is Taz losing as the ECW champion to Triple H on his debut. Remember that whole thing that happened? Or it wasn't his debut because that was the Kurt Angle thing. But he shows up and he's the ECW champion and he immediately loses Triple H. It's all it does is it's the Big Show saying you can't hang, right? So when they just pull the champion right off him, let's see. Clark Griswold says AEW guys better look stronger than TNA guys. Always, no. Whoever you're partnering with, right? If you're the bigger company, yeah, AEW needed to look stronger than TNA guys. The NXT guys need to look better than TNA guys. But that's the problem with these partnerships: is what does it do to TNA? And Griswold says aside from the main champ,
hi, Clark.
that's kind of where I was going. But if you're the champ, Like this was also
Well-
the problem when they bring up NXT champions to the main roster, and you have someone like Asuka who was undefeated the whole time and then gets up there and starts to lose, and you go, oh, they can't hang, right? All it does
Yeah.
is make you say, yes, our guys are better than their best. All of our guys, our mid card guys, are better than their best, and that to
Yeah.
me is the problem. The TNA champ, the NXT champ,
Yeah.
the ECW champ. If you are the main world title, you have to get a few wins before they make you drop that title to someone else. Hendry needed to beat Trick once, at least once, right?
Yeah.
Or Hendry needs to beat Wesley or someone. Fuck, just anybody. He's got to win a couple times. Put him in there with Andre Chase. He can take a few losses. You can't be the TNA champ, lose immediately to a guy who's not the champ, and then have people take TNA seriously. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah, I see
Griswold
what you're
says, I
saying.
see your point, and I agree. It makes TNA look minor. Exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
maybe they are accepting their role as niche, which I totally agree. But then why do this, right?
Yeah.
If you're
Well-
WWE, why make them do this?
Because maybe Trick really won't have what it takes to be on the main roster. Maybe. But the only person I think that's going to benefit from it, because if I'm not mistaken, is going to be, I think Mike Santana is going to challenge Trick for the belt. And, you know, I think that's good, because that's one guy that's been deserving of getting some, you know, more eyes on him. But hold on.
But what's that going to look like for Santana? At the end of the day, Santana
Well, if he
beats
gets it back, you know, I mean, I don't know. But
yeah, but then what? Then he beat a guy who's not the champ, who beat this other goofy champ. You know, like
I don't know. Are we coming
that's
into?
what I'm saying. Is the whole thing is kind of fucked from the get, because to start with, it's not like Joe Hendry losing to Santana wouldn't have been believable. It would have still been believable. So it's not like you need someone more powerful than Hendry. Hendry's been losing every time we've seen him on WWE TV. Again, we've never seen him once win anything on WWE
Yeah, I
TV.
don't think so.
So all I know is there's no point to watch TNA. When I go back to Sports Beard, I ever ask him if he's even like checked in on NXT, and he goes, "No. If they're good enough, they'll make it to the big show." And I can't argue. And I barely watch NXT because if they're good enough, they'll make it to the big show. I've been getting real sick and tired of supporting all these indie dudes who just disappear one day. And I go, great, I have $150 worth of merch for a dude who never held more than a local title. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep, no,
get your shit
totally
together and make it on the big show.
Well, here's my other thing with what I'm thinking. Are they trying to do the prohibitive portal with TNA and NXT?
They're just
Are they trying to do that shit? Is that what they're trying to do? And that's going to be a fucking pay-per-view? Is that
no,
really
they're
what
making
they're
Disney
going to
World.
do?
They're making Disney World. What it is you have WWE, the Epcot center of the whole thing, and then you have all these little parks around it. You have TNA, you have Evolve, you have NXT, you have your Raw and your SmackDown, and you have it set up, and you have WWE ID, and now you have these GCW contracts. And what it is it isolates with their NIL program even more so. It isolates the pool, the people they got, like Clark said, AAA they just picked up. They can now have their guys, because what we've been saying for years with NXT, the problem with NXT is everyone wrestled like they were in NXT. Everyone wrestled the same. They were all doing the same thing. And when we brought it up a long time ago on episode 1, I believe, where the thing that was beneficial about the territories is you worked in Memphis for a while, and then you worked in New York for a while, and then you worked in Texas for a while, and you went up to Seattle for a while, and you learned different styles from different areas, and you meshed with them differently. And so what made these matches so exciting was you were seeing two different styles clashing, and what is that going to look like? And because they were all pros, it worked. Well, you get to NXT and it was all like, this is how we wrestle, this is how everyone wrestles, this is how you'll always wrestle. It became very bland, and a lot of their NXT guys didn't make it because they just look like another guy from NXT. So now they can say, oh, we'll send this guy over to Evolve for a while, and we're done with Evolve, we'll spin them through AAA, they'll get us some experience with the Luchas, and that way when they get to the main roster, they can wrestle against Penta, and it isn't a sloppy mess. But they are isolating it to kick AEW out, I think. But go ahead. This is something I've been thinking about and getting all hot about too. Griswold also said that he came in hot. He says pushing Santana is a losing effort. I agree. And he says NXT is the old gray mare. It just ain't what it used to be. right?
Mm.
And NXT overreached for a few years. Now it's back to its purpose. Yeah,
Well,
but it pushes everyone else down.
Well, with NXT, they had those years where WWE raped the indies. I still said that. Said it on episode 1, and I'll probably say it till I'm blue in the face. They raped the indies. They did. And it now the indie scene, not that great. Let's go there. I mean, they're
That's
guys who either
Nope.
That's AEW's
no,
fault.
no. I'm just saying right now with the indies, there's no one really that's that well. I take that back. There are 3 guys right now that I think that are, you know what, people are going to be fucking trying to grab one of these 2. 2 of them are from the UK. That Michael Oak too. Oh my god, that guy's phenomenal. He's one that I'm surprised nobody's grabbed yet. Man like Darius, he's another one. I'm surprised he hasn't been gobbled up. And then I think the third one, honestly, I'll kind of go there, is I'm really thinking that it's got to be someone from the West Coast. And the one I'm really kind of like thinking of is Titus Alexander. But I think he's kind of lost that edge a little.
Yeah,
So
I think
because he's stuck in this weird vortex right now. But
Which
those are the ones
so is Hammerstone. He seems to have gotten lost in a lot of this stuff too. He's
Yeah.
getting bounced around like crazy, and I don't understand
No.
that.
No, I don't
Yes,
either.
He even just posted on X about that, where he's had all these different shows all over, being invited backstage for here and there, and it's like,
Yeah,
dude, somebody should have hung a sign around your neck a long fucking time ago, dude.
I know. I mean, I'm still in it for him. I'm still here
Yeah.
for him. I'm waiting, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know why guys like Hammerstone and Stackhouse. I think KJ is going to get picked up soon. I think he's got a year of doing what he's doing right now, and people will snatch him up.
Wait, Clark, Clark says I would not use the R word.
Because of what you said. You always say that dumb shit about the Indies. He said they signed the pick of the litter. And you always talk about it as an aggressive attack.
They did.
Yeah.
There are reasons why Guevara was not signed, okay? There were fucking reasons why Ocean Spray was not signed, okay? They had their pick of the litter, So, I mean, seriously. Like,
Oh, that's a good point.
Well,
He says
I know no one's
forced
forced-
Owens to sign. Yeah.
no.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's a dream. When you get your dream thrown in your face, yeah. He never thought he'd be there because he's
And
out
at
of
that
shape.
time, that's when
not
Neville
there. Yeah.
you had Neville, Sammy, and KO. Like, I mean, yeah, they were all like big guys in the indies and they were like holding up the ROH and shit. But at the same time, the indies have to grow up, right? Like
We're
you
not
have
holding
to
ROH.
pick them out.
There were other people too that were there holding up ROH too.
Cornette.
No. Oh my God, no. Around that time, no. You had fucking the rise of the fucking Jay Lethal, who was like the fucking face of the company. The Briscoes,
Yeah.
come on now. They
But
still had a lot.
because the
Not
indies
just-
is relatively
that's their-
small pool and relatively small funding, as these guys become that anchored on, they have to grow out of the indies, get to a bigger platform, and make space for the younger guys to get that big as well. So I do think you got to pluck out the big roses from time to time and let a new bush rise. But I do think that at this point, yeah, they're really draining thin. Like, I mean, even when I go to local shows at this point, I look around and I go, yeah, I'm not surprised this is where you're at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where
You know?
where it used to be, you'd go to the shows and you go, how the fuck is this guy still here? You know what I mean?
I'm really upset with Carl Fredericks, aka Eddie Thorpe, because Carl, that guy can go. He was the standout at that first new LA dojo, and
Yeah,
I
Clark,
just
think
don't.
both sides of that are the same thing.
Yeah, I just don't know.
If someone wants
But-
to go, let them go. But you also got at a certain point, if you're at a certain point, you don't want to be the Triple H of the indies and just be like, yep, I'm just the end of the line. You know what I mean? Like, no, you want it all to flourish everywhere.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Amanda. I was
Absolutely.
just responding to the chat.
Absolutely. But is what it is. I will say with NXT, is it getting better? It could. And I'll tell you why. 2 words, Booker T.
Well,
I'm sorry.
here's the
I
thing.
I really,
Is T?
I had to really, I had to.
What?
Is T a word?
I
She
just
said
shut my
book. She said 2 words. Booker T. T
Yeah,
is a
Booker
letter.
T.
T's
It's a letter?
not word.
Okay.
Just
Well, Booker T commentary. There you go.
okay.
There you go. God.
Yeah.
Is reality of wrestling.
Yeah.
What would Booker T do? He's not doing anything. He just shucky ducky quacks. Okay.
Actually,
He gets
as much
all
as he
up
makes me laugh, I really don't like how I don't like how he's getting with all the women. Like he's
No.
getting worse than Corey Graves ever was.
No.
He's starting to get Lawler levels of
Yes.
Gross.
and I'm not comfortable with that. I wasn't comfortable with it when it was Lawler.
Yeah. No, that's
I mean, I
gross.
was like 15 at the time when it was Lawler, so I thought it was the funniest thing on earth.
Mhm.
But when I watch stuff now, I go, God, why did they let this guy say that? You know?
Yeah. I mean, if they got rid of Booker, I would have no problem. And no, I am not saying this because he fucking can't stand Ricky Stark Saints. I'm not saying it because of that. I've been saying Booker commentary has been shit ever since he
Booker
got
doesn't
on
like
there.
Ricky? How do you know?
Oh, the way he fucking the commentary in all of his matches.
He
Like,
buries him like a
Graves
Corey
fucking puts
Dana.
him over like the second coming of Jesus.
Yeah.
He
Well,
Graves
Graves a
didn't
real
like
one.
the king back in the day.
Yeah.
And I
Actually,
love
Clark
Drunk
Griswold
JR.
brings up a really good point. He goes, "It's hard for me to listen to commentary, period, from any one promotion." And I'll be honest with you, at this point,
Yeah.
who's good? I literally fast forward and mute during Raw,
Vic
and I used to
Joseph
think
is
Pat
good.
McAfee and Michael Cole were such an amazing
Vic
Now
pairing
it's
because
been
I thought they were
Matt
so
Raywalt.
authentic, and now they come off so phony.
Vic
Well-
Joseph and Matt Raywalt, I think, are too easier to listen to. I like Matt Raywalt's style. I do.
I do
You know-
like Corey and Vic though.
Yeah.
Corey and Vic is good. Vic was like, when he first got to NXT, he was doing solid. He went up to Raw for a little bit, and I was like, here he goes. And then they fucking put him back in NXT, and he started to like almost give in a way. It doesn't feel like he's trying like he used to. Like, I feel like he's corny now.
No, now he's getting a lot better. But the one thing I'll say is bless him, because he really kind of shuts Booker up sometimes, some of the nonsense that comes out of his mouth. But then at the same time, you know, he's I think it's better that he's not, because I think his style is more suited for these up and comers rather than
Because
whatever.
it's like corny indie stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to think of a promotion that sounds pro at this point. They all sound goofy indie bullshit.
Well, definitely Excalibur's goofy indie bullshit.
Yes.
And Tony Schiavone needs to not be on commentary.
Yes.
I do like Nigel.
Maybe
I'm not
to
gonna
live
I'm not
out
gonna
his
lie.
glory days, just chilling.
You know
You
who
know-
was fucking dope though? Was Tom was his name Hannaford now? Tom
Yeah.
Phillips.
Tom Phillips.
Tom
yeah.
Phillips, yeah.
He
Mhm.
was so solid. I think Corey's super solid. I'm liking the new guy they got from ESPN. He's not amazing, but he's all
What
right.
new guy
But
from
like,
ESPN.
I forget.
The one who does SmackDown with
Yeah,
With,
I don't get
um,
SmackDown, so I don't know his name anymore.
okay, with fucking
Yeah.
Snow
And
My
at this
Stew.
point, I only watch SmackDown through YouTube clips. So just when I want to watch Jacob Fatu say "Yada I mean," you know.
But now you have fucking Jeff Cobb. What are your feelings?
Yeah.
No, we have JC Mateo. You relax.
Excuse me. Hold on. Hold on.
We had Jeff Cobb at home. He's called JC Mateo.
I think that's brilliant because the Mateo name, how that came about, that was brilliant. If that is true story.
What was the story
There
you
he
heard
is,
about
Fatu.
Mateo? I picked up this Jacob Fatu Tops Now card. So
That's
I got 5 of them, hoping to get a fucking variant. I did not. So now
I'm
I don't know what
sorry.
to do with
Well,
extra
you
cards
know-
because the fuck.
You know what happened with mine when I got the 5? They actually give you 6 when they give you it, or maybe they fucked up. I
Really?
don't know. But I have I have a thought with mine. Right? It's in the back
All
here.
right. Don't point at
Mine?
Ricky and say you have a thought right there. Okay.
Yes, I do.
We know
My
what thoughts you have, but it's the wrong
Yeah.
side of the card.
No,
Spelled
it
wrong.
is
When
not.
you say it is spelled different.
No, that's not what I said. No. My thought with these is he probably told them, hey, do you see this bitch's email? Right? Her first and last name? You better give her one of those fucking special ones, or I'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah, I feel like that's how you got that Goldman micro as well. I've thought about that recently too, because I was looking through some of my stuff and I was like, "There's just no fucking way." Someone had to abandon that one.
Well, no, because you know what? Fucking Ryan Barkin was probably like, "Y'all, if you don't put the fucking the chase in there."
You see the name, and like, all right, everyone, hold on. Before we go any further, let's
put that one aside.
Put this one over here now. Grab me one of those. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's just switch that shit out. Let's save us all some trouble. She'll riot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Cole will be. I don't want to hear. She'll never fucking let it go. I go exactly.
Yeah. She'll never let it go.
She'll blow my phone up.
Fucking do it.
Seriously, like I would never. Yeah. But you know, I'm not saying that I have clout, but I'm just saying certain things.
You annoy the fuck out of people and make them afraid of you?
See, that's what I was trying to think of. There's got to be a word that's not quite clout, but has to be way more about like harassing to the point of annoyance, or just shy of harassment, annoying to just the line of harassment, towards kind of like, look, it's just better for
us. ChatGPT.
Divorce? I mean, I get an ex-wife. It kind of fits.
No.
Oh man.
So you said being
just shy of what was the word you said?
What did you say? Did you? You guys were the ones that said it.
No, you said a word.
No, you said it.
What I said? What did I say?
Yeah. Oh Jesus, girl.
I don't know, dude. We've been.
I
need more drink.
Yeah.
I know. Seriously.
Threatening, harassing.
Where's the line between threatening and convincing?
I'm not allowed to answer that question without a vaunt of a lawyer.
Hold on.
Yeah. Any representation?
Okay, here it is. Ask ChatGPT. They said the best word to use is coercive.
Coercive. There it is. No, I would fucking yeah.
I mean,
it implies pressure and manipulation without overt threats.
So what you're saying is they have to treat you like the drunk chick at the end of a bar.
There's also
put that one in our notes.
Yeah.
Insistent.
Bothersome.
Insistent.
No. Strongly pushy, bordering on the annoying or harassing.
That
can't be cute in a persistent way. Oh, here's another one.
What was that one?
Coercive. That's insistent. Coercive. It's a mashup of coy and coercive.
It's something.
It's a creative blend for describing someone who uses charm and cuteness to manipulate.
I think coercive's the right one.
Yeah. Coercive. Yeah. That's
coercive.
The right one.
Coercive.
Yeah, bordering on harassment.
Menacingly cute.
You're not menacing unless you're like, you know.
Oh no! When I get on my thing, I get on my thing.
Yeah, but you.
Yeah.
But you might just cry right away, and that's a little different.
No. I've yelled at people. Hello.
No, that's true. You fought Will Ospreay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's get back to topic here. Do people honestly think the right? Okay, hold on. Let's translate this. Do people honestly think the right people are being put into the right creative position? Do people honestly think the right people are being put into the right creative positions? If we're talking, this is about WWE's way overreaching at this point between AAA, NXT, Evolve, and some random show on Tubi that is being advertised to me. That is Evolve. I thought. Is that not? Or are you talking about LFG?
No, Evolve is, yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
this is kind of as much. You said one of the points about the territories that you go from one area to another and pick up these styles. Since the territories is a done deal, it's not coming back. It's just it's done. This is sort of their way of recreating it. Is the way I would look at it.
But I also think that this is their way of recreating it because of the environment that AEW has created. They've put indies harder than WWE ever did.
Yes.
WWE, the top guys. AEW is literally taking everybody who has any skill, no matter where it is, and not training them, teaching them, and then eventually getting bored of them and shelving them. I mean, I don't want to speak for someone, but I've heard someone say, man, I would love for Tony to sign me and forget me. And it's all like, that's the mentality on the indies, right?
But he's not going to give you top dollar.
But it does give them the belief they earned this top dollar, right? So they get these big paychecks, and then WWE goes, look, dude, we're not going to give you $500,000, but we'll give you 50 to start. And then they're like, well, I'm worth 500 over here. Are you worth it, or are they paying you it? And I do think that what they're trying to do is create a large enough pool to where it feels like a growing indie scene with talents that are growing and learning and actively applying, as opposed to just saying, well, I guess when MJF's contract comes up, we can see if we outbid for him, or just hoping the guys are disgruntled enough to leave. Because like when you're fighting against someone who has all the money to pay up everyone to sit at home, it makes it difficult to have a flowing roster.
And I think they've made good inroads in terms of, like, New Japan has not been the New Japan of old in a good long fucking time. Then Noah hits, and Marigold, their working relationship has definitely brought in they can send somebody over to Japan to learn the Japanese style without having to run inroads around what's going on with them, because New Japan was the standard bearer in Japanese wrestling. Now it's an afterthought, and that's sad to say, considering, but
you tell me, because I don't know or see as much, but it looks to me from the little I've seen that the NJPW shows that they're doing in America are doing better than the NJPW shows that are happening in Japan.
Correct.
That's a problem.
Yes.
Well, that is a problem, yes. But right now, when I looked at, because it's Best of Super Junior season, that's my favorite time of year, and Sakura Genesis, my favorite time of the year. And I think personally, I think part of it is that Tanahashi, the backlash of President Tanahashi. I also feel that because they couldn't, get LIJ was beloved. And then you had Naito not coming back, and then Bushi's like, see ya.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything to do with it. That plays an element, but I think more to the point is when New Japan spun themselves to be more westernized in their style and approach to a lot of their booking, that changed a lot of the way, because they stopped catering to what made New Japan Pro Wrestling New Japan Pro Wrestling. They started being New Japan Light, and that changed. You don't see the same level of, like, a Shinsuke Nakamura sense of strong style. You don't see the original guttural Bullet Club, that when they rolled in the ring, left no one fucking standing, and you thought they'd killed somebody. Now it's more played safe. Not that it was ever unsafe, but it's just the style is drastically westernized, and that just does not sway with the Japanese audience. It just doesn't.
I think once Kenny left,
Kenny was their litmus test.
But then also when Okada is going to be leaving, and I think that having those guys, it really.
I thought the Young Bucks and Jay Lethal were the heart and soul of NJPW. That's what I've been taught to learn.
No, not even close.
NJPW couldn't survive without Young Bucks. That's what they said.
They survived several decades without them. It is.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Are you smoking?
I think they should have given New Japan over to Chono.
Clark thinks they should have given it to Okada. I think there's a lot of.
There's a lot of
giving the company a way to keep Okada, but
I
don't know. It just feels like that the indies don't exist like they used to. AEW has drastically watered down the learning and evolution of indie wrestlers to being viable, and WWE was put in a spot where they kind of have to build out a territory that Tony can't access because he's the one watering it down. And it's, I mean, kind of shitty in a lot of ways, but it makes sense to me.
And
like,
I
mean, when I
people
watch
thought
AEW's product, I don't sit there and say, I don't sit there and watch constantly and just go like, why is this guy not in WWE? This guy should be in a bigger thing. It's like, oh, this guy could carry everything. I watch it and I just go, yeah, I get why these guys are here playing with each other.
Yeah.
Like none of it stands out, you know?
Like, and that's something that I definitely think is interesting, is that they're creating their own ecosystem and they're selectively raising, like, not everybody is meant to be main event. It's just a fact. Some people are going to be the start of the show. Some people are going to be mid-card. Some people are tag team forever. You can't change that fact. It is what it is. You either have it or you don't. That doesn't mean you can't make a good living in the business. It doesn't mean you can't have your name out there and have a good chunk of fans. But, you know, you can't just give every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walked out of fucking wrestling school without even having a scuff on their boots. It's just not going to happen. And if it does, you're being fed a line of shit. You're going to pay for it later.
Yep.
Yeah. Clark says he used to be able to name 20 indie wrestlers and right now could struggle for 5. I know I can name more than 5, but it's also because of just a good chunk of my favorites have not been picked up yet, you know? But
about I probably can still name 20. If I really thought about it.
But you go to West Coast Pro all the time.
No, I haven't. I've been West Coast Pro in over a year. You kidding me?
Was it Defy you're going to all the time now, or Prestige?
No, I only went to. Well, I would go back to Defy, but right now can't do that. But no, but I watch Defy. You know, I watch all these things with West Coast Pro. The reason why I don't go, and I will say this, so I'm blue in the face, is you fucking have these partnerships with people, and you do better fucking shows away from your home. What the fuck is that? That's the problem I have. So, anyways, and also, you know, I'm sorry, but some of the people that just came from the school are not very good. He pushes this guy who
aren't they still in business with the guy that busted up Su Young's face with a shit chair throw?
Yep, that too. Mm-hmm.
Wait,
that too.
Wait, who?
Yeah,
the
Sammy
dude.
Callahan?
No. Sammy never would do that.
Just no, in the face with a bat for no reason.
Well, that's different.
You know Sammy Callahan. I mean, seriously.
Come on.
Yeah. Sammy Callahan is different.
I saw that one spot and I went, fuck that guy for life. And I've never seen anything that made me think differently.
Well, I will say this, even though I almost got killed during a fucking Sammy Callahan match. That would have been fucking awful. But, you know, I like Sammy Callahan.
Yeah, the fucking dude was he was running the show. He was working the match. He was really not fucking safe. Busted her face all fucked up. Put on the show for like a year and a half. My other in-time brother. What's up, Justin?
Your other in-time brother. What the hell?
I'm honorary. I have the screenshot.
Yeah, well, you know, even with hey Justin, even with Sammy, like he's, you know, I think he's better right now in his creative capacities and as a booker with his stuff with Revolver after all these years.
Yeah, Sammy's dream is Revolver. It is very little. He does not need the ring, and it's part of why you don't see him fucking everywhere. He's doing Revolver. That's his baby. That's his dream.
That's his baby. Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's okay to support a lot of people, and it's okay to just acknowledge that a lot of people's dreams won't come true. Yeah. I don't want to support other people's dreams when they're shitty. If I go to a fucking restaurant and everything is fucking disgusting and awful, I go, they shouldn't be working here. Right. That's it. If I go to a fucking movie and the movie's fucking terrible, I go, I don't want to see anything with that actor again. They're a terrible actor. They shouldn't do this. You know what I mean? Like if I watch wrestling and it's fucking awful and that person's terrible, I go, yeah, no, not for me. I don't give a fuck. It's your dream.
Right.
Like you should try harder. You should work harder. You should be better. If it's truly your dream and it's everything you want, go be better.
Well,
fucking don't there are some people and then tell me it's your dream.
Well, there are some people
Look
You
at
think-
fucking Janela.
Okay,
It's been his dream, and he's working harder, and you watch him work harder every year. But then you watch
Let me
some
tell
of these
you
fucking
why.
dudes because it's actually his dream, and he's putting himself out there. These other dudes, everyone says it's their dream, but then they don't fucking try.
he fucking, I said this on episode 1 before. When he was in AEW, and he'll admit this, he lost a lot of sense of who he was. A lot of those guys did.
Yep.
And when the contract was up, he's like, I'm gonna do this shit on my own. And he is. I'm waiting for fucking WWE one day to roll up because they have a great relationship with Brett Lauderdale. Go, what can we do? Because that I think would really, Well, Clark, I've told a lot of people that they don't have it. Clark said, well, I'd say to Sammy's face, I think he doesn't have it, but I would not feel great. Oh, I've done that to people before.
I've done
And you
it
know what? It
back.
doesn't bother me. The only one that does, in my opinion, is when I fucking do it to Will Ospreay, because every fucking time I'm like, you fucking dug another knife. This is exciting.
See,
Almost orgasmic. Get off on that. Anyway,
I
sorry.
did it. I said it to a fucking comedian once too. I still stand by that.
Sammy would more likely go, yeah, but did you enjoy the show? And there we go.
Nothing to do with you, dude. Like, yeah,
Yep.
no.
Pretty much.
You know who doesn't have it? Yeah, well, who has it, and a lot of people don't think he has it? It's goddamn Grado. I'll die on that hill. I will die on that hill.
I like Grado. It's just something about him I just find entertaining.
Yeah.
I
believe you. I'm about to ship off my Grado signature. I have a great Grado autograph. I've told someone I'm shipping them. I'm gonna do it this week.
Oh, there you go. How old is who? Grado? Clark? Who? I don't know.
I don't know. He's timeless.
Grado's gotta be.
I don't
It's
know.
gotta be in his 60s, I think. Now.
Who?
Yeah.
Grado? No.
He wasn't a spring chicken when he had his run in TNA.
36. He's 36. But I think also he's primarily stayed in Europe, right? Like I think that's the big reason.
No, he started acting. And then he kind of got out of it. And then now he kind of goes in and out sometimes. So yeah. It's because he
like John Cena.
just didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the roles
I
that
just wanted-
John Cena were in.
Well, there's a difference, to be fair.
Totally. To be
I
fair.
don't
Yeah.
I don't know too many people that would pay to see Grado's ass. I'm just saying.
I
Just
wouldn't.
Grado stand there in his underwear. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think it hits the
I
same.
don't even want to. I don't even want to know. Don't
Yeah,
want to know.
no. Mhm.
Cole Cabana, don't want to know.
No.
Don't want to know. Yeah, nothing's home in the caboose. Nothing's home in the caboose.
It's all steam engine, no caboose.
No caboose.
Yeah.
That should be
I know we
a shirt.
started with
Me riding
with
a train.
TNA.
Me riding a caboose.
Mm.
Yeah. But
I just
I don't know if you
a moment.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to go back to the TNA championship thing at all, but I think that this is all kind of in line with that too, where it just solidifies a lot of what we've been saying, that when TNA goes up and we only see their champion lose and lose and lose and then lose the title to a guy who was champion, but not for a really long time. And to be honest, did he feel like a champion, like a fucking world champion, or do you feel like an NXT champion? Because I do feel like that I get a lot of impressions from some of these guys where it's like, yeah, I can understand why NXT would put a title on you. But at the end of the day, like I understand why Johnny Gargano had the NXT championship, but there's no means at all that he comes off as a champion type. He's not championship material.
The Wyatt Six beat his ass. Oh, God.
Dude, I can wait. I can wait and also never see it. And it's fine to me.
No, I just want to see him hurt. Just a few good times.
Dude, Jacob Fatu came out right after DIY won the titles. Jacob Fatu came out and fucking leveled them both for fucking like 10 minutes. And I was like, this is the greatest segment of all time.
It would have been hilarious if fucking Dexter Loomis got out of his Wyatt Six gear and
Dude, you know they're gonna have some stupid moment. They're gonna do some sort of fucking the way thing. They're gonna have their fucking hands touch. It's gonna be so fucking stupid. But yeah, do we think that Trick Williams comes across as a big time champion worth beating another world champion, or does he come off like an NXT guy who beat an underling? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think this does good business for TNA. I don't think TNA is going to see their numbers spike. I don't think anyone's going to be like, can't wait to see TNA. I could see some NXT fans watching TNA for a week or two when Trick shows up and then leaving again. You know what I mean? Like, this is the Becky Lynch on NXT thing, right? You send Becky Lynch to NXT, those numbers pop. People want to see what Becky Lynch can do on NXT, but they don't stay next week. They just want to see what she's going to do. You know what I mean?
And part of that's execution, and that's really not something I can put a quantifier on, because part of what got me back into watching TNA when they were still Impact, because the brand soured me straight off with that Hogan bullshit. After the Aces and Eights thing, I was like, not for me anymore. And it was a shit show for the longest time. Yeah. But it was some of their people coming over that got me paying back attention to it. Now, am I every fan? No, God, no. But I think this can translate to numbers. It already is translating to numbers in terms of TNA's attendance and viewership. You know, and this is even after, you know, Joe Hendry losing match after match, you know, that they are gaining steadily in popularity. So if it's working, it's working. I can't argue that point. I think Santana taking the title off of Trick, I'm okay with it because I don't like Trick. I do not like him as a champion. I thought he was not even world champion NXT caliber, and I've just never been a fan. You know, I have a very particular style about that. You know, putting the title on Santana is reaching back into the member berries and the nostalgia. I can see that. Santana's only got so many years left in the tank on him. So it's one of those, use it while you got it. And there's not to say would be just as quick an interim champion as well. You know, maybe this is that shakeup. I'm not in the back.
I mean,
but
I'll be honest, it's really hard for me ever since, I mean, even all the Scott D'Amore and Bubba shit was fucking awful. Everything Bubba Dudley does is fucking stupid. So they do that dumb shit. They fucking throw the strap on Joe Hendry. In the meantime, they bring in Hammerstone and don't know what the fuck to do with him and let him walk out on his contract. Fuck you guys if you think that Scott D'Amore versus Bubba Dudley is better than anything that Hammerstone could do. And fuck off if you're going to try and send me a fucking red-nosed clown and a fucking meme gif as a champ, but going to sit there and tell me that there's just nothing you can do with a guy like Hammerstone. Hammerstone's fucking got it. Hammerstone and Jacob Fatu had some of the best matches on the indies that year.
That's true.
You know what I mean? There were other really fucking good ones, because I want to say the Briscoes were doing some hot shit at the time. But
which
like,
it's a damn
conversation.
Death in the family. Speaking of the Briscoes,
let me tell you,
well,
the ones
that Tony being a bitch, like that was fucking stupid too.
You know, when you're talking about the Bubba Scott D'Amore thing, who had the fucking book?
Yeah,
it was clear nepotism booking.
No,
and I mean, it is what it is.
We know how I feel about Bubba.
You're not a fan.
But anyways, not a fan.
Not a
piece of shit.
Yes.
Yeah, this Nepo baby thing.
Yeah, Nepo booking or Nepo is a nepotism.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but he's just saying because like Scott D'Amore wasn't like someone's kid, but he was the guy with the pen. So
yeah, well, he was the guy with the pen who was essentially booking his
more masturbatorial than Nepo is, I think, what he's trying to get to.
Well, I don't like using masturbatory and Scott D'Amore in the same sentence. I think we can all agree.
You think he doesn't? I feel like that's the only way he gets it.
If he's doing it, I don't want to know about it, nor does it belong in my conversations.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah, no. I could take a lot Scott DeLess if you ask.
Yes, Scott DeLess. If it gets me a promo, I'll say whatever Scott wants. Well, I mean, I guess.
Yeah. But no, I mean, so for me, watching fucking Hendry do all this shit and then drop it to NXT, you just go, yeah, it's all the more reason to not watch TNA. this could be, as much as it's got all this funding to them, I don't know that this gives TNA some longevity of independence. I think at a certain point right now they're working together. I think it's not that long until TNA gets absorbed, and then it just is evolution.
But why absorb them when they can just have them do all the grunt work for them? I mean, basically,
Sometimes it's more expensive to have someone else do it. Sometimes it's cheaper to use your own trucks and shit because they already have the infrastructure.
yeah.
And if you're going to be sending your guys down there, you don't want them looking like shit on some fucking podunk thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why WWE people were never going to GCW when it was super hot. Now they're going down there because GCW fucking can't get shit. They can't fill a building anymore. They're not hot anymore.
Yeah, they can.
They can.
Fucking
Not
can't.
like they could.
Not like they were. No.
Yeah.
Certain cities they do still.
Yeah, sometimes
They
they're
always
good
draw
in
in
certain
LA.
markets. They used to be just hot wherever they went. That's why they started expanding. They weren't just going to the 2 anymore because they were so fucking popular everywhere. And now they're not going back to cities 3 or 4 times. Now they're hitting 1 a year and then stuck and then pulling shows because they can't fill the buildings. They're not hot. But like, if you want your guys to go down there, you want them to look good. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just buy the shit out so you can get them a good camera.
I think because Effie's the champ, they need to take the belt off of Effie.
Yeah.
He's the fucking worst thing for the indies. I don't understand how you put your fucking strap and your fucking business on fucking what's his ass 2.0. Who is the fucking dick guy? He's the same
Joey
thing.
Ryan.
Yes, this is Joey Ryan again. We have Joey Ryan again. Here's a dude who again flashes the audience, who does a whole bunch of dick spots, who puts his groin in people's faces, tells them that he's the champion and they got to work with him or they don't, and they just don't get a spot on the show. Fuck off. Quit trying to fucking feed me this and say this is better than fucking Joey Ryan because he's gay. I don't give a fuck if he's gay or straight. It doesn't matter. I don't want his fucking nuts out in the middle of a wrestling show.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do with your nuts is fine backstage, I guess, unless you're Vince.
But that's a matter for the courts.
That's
Clearly.
for the courts to decide, right? But I'm just saying, like, I walked out on his match when I was at a GCW show because I went to a GCW show because I want to support the guys I like. I hear his music, I see him coming out. I'll go step outside. I don't need to sit here and watch this fucking predator be a fucking piece of shit in front of everybody.
Mhm.
Well, you got to see Zack Sabre Jr. and Mance Warner. Oh, Mancer.
Yeah, that was a good match. I wasn't thinking.
Jealous.
I didn't think Mance was that good.
But he
But
hung
then he
with
was.
fucking ZSJ.
Exactly.
He hung with
Man's
ZSJ.
gotten a lot better. I will definitely say that. And coming off the shit that damn near wrecked his career under Vince's booking, I'm glad the guy busted his ass and he, kept working his craft. Mance has gotten a lot better.
Mance was in NXT.
He was a short stint guy, wasn't he? Could have sworn he
said it.
was.
I don't know.
That
I'm
was-
asking. I didn't know.
I didn't know that
could have
either.
sworn. It might be in my head canon, and I'm totally okay with accepting that.
I'm seeing CCW. I'm seeing MLW.
I did want to
can't-
comment about Joey
Go ahead.
Ryan real quick.
Go ahead.
So apparently on his X, there was a
Okay.
TikTok that was posted. It's been since deleted. And
Of course.
Cole Cabana, shame on you. He was in the video. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I'm
get people are
yeah.
trying to be nice to their friends and shit, but at a certain point, you go fucking no.
No.
And it's another thing too,
Mhm.
like Griswold was saying earlier. I don't want to shit on someone trying to live out their dreams. Well, if that's your dream, man, I don't need it.
Yeah.
A lot
And I
of
wish
people's
people would
nightmare.
stop shitting on Marty. Anyways.
Oh yeah, I did get my Mances messed up. That was my fault.
Yeah, which bands are you thinking of?
One of those jobbers they brought in with Mustafa Ali for that quick
Yeah.
stint. That dude who
Yeah.
made up like 3 shows and then they kiboshed the entire thing and couldn't put him anywhere else.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I hope guys like that get a second chance, because those ones
Yeah.
are always bummers where it's just kind of like a booking thing where it's like we had this plan and now we can't do the thing, so we just really don't know what to do. Like, I get that. Those are the ones that to me suck the most because it goes, oh, were they not good enough? It's like, oh, they were definitely good enough. We just
Like that one
that
dude
was
who
our
doing the
idea we
video
had.
gimmick, and then 9/11 happened and he lost his entire career because he was strapped to that.
Yeah, exactly.
That
So,
poor bastard.
So,
Um,
but NXT really interesting yesterday.
Yeah,
oh yeah, you
Uh,
want to talk about the thing? Yeah.
yeah. The,
Yeah,
the
well,
thing with the
hold on.
Let
me get to that.
She's gonna say. She's getting to the one she wants.
I'm gonna get to that.
She's
Okay,
gonna get to what she
getting to
wants.
that.
is this
You
the
don't
women's
have to
segment?
do
So I
it.
can take
This
a
is the
pee
women's
break.
segment. This is the women's segment. Yeah.
I'll go pee. I'll be right back.
Okay. I can't believe you said, "Oh, it's a women's segment." I'll go pee. Oh my god! So just like every other man, I'm not going to go the whole.
Deuce would slap him on the head so hard.
Oh, I know, right? Oh my god! You know what? You should fucking save this and go.
Yeah.
Use it as
I'm sitting there like,
blackmail.
hey, Deuce, you gotta know.
You gotta know.
Dude, it was so
Did
funny
you
when
went
we
to the
reviewed.
bathroom during a women's section? No.
Just as a quick side, when we were doing a review of WrestleMania for LA,
Mhm.
when all the men tag teams came out, we were going match by match, and I was like, okay, so there was like this 4-way men's tag matches, and she goes, yeah, that was a lot of men in the ring, so I took a pee break. If they're gonna do that to the women, I'm not gonna sit there and watch all those men at once fuck around. And I was just like, fair enough, moving on.
Yep. There you go. There you go. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Oh yeah. So
but go ahead, set it up.
okay, so we've got JC Jane of Fatal Influence versus Stephanie Vicur. And we all know how much I love Stephanie right now. I'm very high on her.
You know where my toxic
So,
attraction was right now.
one of the things that for me was I'm almost feeling like, okay, JC should have had this kind of shot a long time ago, especially when Toxic Attraction was hot. That would have been fucking great.
Yes, but that's tough because at the time it was hot because Mandy was unbeatable and that kind of needed to be.
That
So
is
it's
true.
tough, but I
miss
hear you.
Mandy. I miss Mandy, and I will tell you this: I don't like the fact that they're regurgitating Toxic Attraction. Not a fan. Also, Fallon Henley is their fucking leader. Sorry, you can't measure up any. You're like you measure up this much to Mandy. Because Mandy was fucking phenomenal. That was the best move she ever fucking made. And screw you guys for fucking not letting her get extra dough. And now all these people are. Screw you. Anywho's.
It's a little messy now.
But yeah. But it was a very interesting match. I did not. Yeah. I did not expect JC Jane to win.
Yeah.
Did not. Is this maybe going to be the breakup of Fatal Influence? It might, because the little squabble she had with Fallon, like right before, like earlier in the episode. But I don't know. So what's next for Stephanie Vicur? Is she staying in NXT? Is she going to get the fast track like Julia and go on the main roster? Which I still don't understand. Fast tracking
a lot of women right now. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Stephanie and Jordan Grace ended up on the main roster right away.
Jordan Grace has looked like shit ever since she's come over.
Yeah, she's awful. She doesn't belong there, and she's a horrible representation of the company for a company that's tried to distance themselves from steroids for how many decades? 2.5 decades now.
Yeah,
I think that bringing her in is awful, but
it's very botchy. She's very botchy. I always thought that before. She's not as great as everyone seems to think she is. So
I've never liked a single thing she's ever done, said, or matched.
No.
It does feel a little bit like, though, potentially Frankie Monet, if you remember back in the day, Frankie and Taya Valkyrie, where it's all like, hey, you might be hot shit on the indies and get all the fucking big matches, but sometimes it just doesn't click over here, right? That's not to say Taya Valkyrie's not incredible, because she's amazing. That was the weirdest thing when we were watching it happen. We're like, what is going on? Like, why does she not?
It was that whole packaging. It didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
But then even in the ring, she was floundering, and I have a feeling it was a confidence thing with not feeling like she fit in, and I don't think it was all there. And so things have to line up for these kind of level athletes.
Absolutely.
But that's just to say, I think Stephanie Vicur is moving on quickly. Like I said, even a couple years ago on episode 1, when I went to the NJPW show in Long Beach and saw Stephanie Vicur, she was maybe the only person that I didn't know going into that I wrote down their name leaving, because I was like, she's a star and she's incredible. Why is she not on TV? And then I've been following her ever since. And so, like, as she's been doing these things, I'm like, fuck yeah, it's making sense, right? And she's only getting better as she goes. They seem to be really injecting into the women's division on the main roster heavily right now. And I feel like, hopefully, and whether people want to fucking talk shit or not, I think a lot of it has to do with how horrible Charlotte has done since her return. I think they thought they could always rely on Charlotte. We've always got Charlotte. She'll always be our big 5-star main eventer. We've got Becky. We've got Bayley. We've got these ones who can carry things. Bayley's going to set them up, and then Charlotte's going to knock them down, right? I think when they saw how horrible this entire run with Charlotte's been, how bad the last couple of years with Becky has been, she's doing better right now. But she had a really bad fucking return with LA. She had a mediocre run up until her WrestleMania last year, which was solid. This WrestleMania, the match was not good. You're starting to not get these Tony Gwynn power hitters anymore. You're starting to get, okay, maybe age is catching up, and maybe the time away. Like, I mean, unfortunately, Becky wrestles now like she doesn't wrestle every day. You know what I mean? But
Motherhood.
Natty does. Natty does wrestle like she wrestles every day because you're not going to find her not in a ring. You know what I mean? So I do think that
Training
they're taking a
people
lot of this
in.
young talent, the Roxannes, the Stephanies, Liv's really flourished. And I think they're trying to push them into there, the Julias, and say, look, we need the next wave. We need the next WrestleMania poster, and we don't think Charlotte's going to cut it anymore.
No,
you know what I mean?
I think, I really
and
think
you are muted.
Uh-oh.
He's over there nodding.
Okay, I'm over there nodding, talking to myself, flailing about. I was having a meeting with Marv, really. What was going on? Like,
Marv was farting. I was telling him to calm down.
Right, I was just like...
But did you say what you want to say about that? I'm going to stop talking so goddamn much, and then I want to hear from Amanda after.
Well, no, because I'm going to watch you just go, Charlotte, this time around, did it to herself. She thought she could walk into the same position, acting like she always did, and would get the same reception. Clearly, she's never learned anything from her father, because he could have fucking told her, and that dude's half a bag in the wind most days. You know? And then when she's put in front of somebody who's not playing by the, oh, you're a Flair, they went, oh, fuck this, I'm not letting you bury me. You know? And then the way she came out, the outfit, everything about it was clearly trying to, for the WrestleMania match, Charlotte was trying to emulate what Tiffany was doing, and it may as well have just been a bigger sign for Tiffany.
Yeah.
And to that point, it should have been, I made you a new star, bye. She should have just called it right there, but she still keeps going out there. Nobody wants to fucking hear it. Nobody wants to deal with it. It's just, she did it to herself. She fucked herself. She's the only one to blame for that.
Yeah. I've been saying it for a year too. Like, you can watch her matches. She short steps her opponents. She tries to make them look bad. I think that as much as people want to fucking say what they want, I think Nikki Almost Superhero would have worked if it not for the fact that she had to go through Charlotte right away. Charlotte put a stop to all of that because she made Nikki look like shit because Nikki was trying to play along and Charlotte wasn't. Charlotte was trying to make her look like shit. It's more important for Charlotte for other people to look like they're not ready than it is for Charlotte to get someone ready or to make someone look like a formidable opponent. You know what I mean? It's the opposite of Jerry Lawler. Give me anybody off the street. I'm going to put him in the ring and people are going to say, holy shit, the King's in trouble. Right? Because it doesn't mean anything if you don't beat anybody. You can't be beating nobodies and become somebody, right? Charlotte wants everyone to be a nobody but her. So it caught up with her when Tiffany was all like, not only do I know I'm fucking better than this, but I'd rather lose my job than fucking kowtow to you. Bianca didn't do that, but she did go, oh shit, Charlotte can't make it all the way. I need a double time for her. And inadvertently, as a good person, worked twice as hard in the match to make Charlotte look good, while Charlotte was working half as hard to make Bianca look bad, and ended up Bianca becoming a fucking superstar because, like, hey, she can hang, right?
It's like with Bliss. She tried to short step Bliss, but when you're like double her size, all you did was put it into her realm.
Yeah.
Of course, she's not going to look like shit. You just basically slowed the role for her.
Yeah. And Clark says, Nikki, whatever gimmick has prime mid card potential, which is not bad, to be honest. And again, I think at that moment, right now, for sure, I think that Nikki would be like an IC title. But at that time, the pool was a little thinner. It was kind of a lot thinner when it came to talent. I think Nikki could have had a reasonable run with that world title that would have made sense if not for that. Amanda, we need to hear from you.
Yeah. I mean, but do we really?
No.
Yeah, because this isn't about peaches.
I mean,
we're not.
We could just go with Wendy Chu, and there you go.
Well, no.
She should be on the main roster.
She's
in
down
Evolve.
there. She's in Evolve. She's schooling people on how to unfuck their shit.
Yeah, that's what she's doing.
Oh,
that's what she's doing.
Yeah, that's why Thatcher is back down there. Mm-hmm.
Wait, who's there?
Yeah,
Thatcher.
Thatcher's in Evolve?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking insane.
Thatcher's in Evolve.
Digi. What was that, Amanda?
I was going to say Thatcher and Wendy Chu are the ones that are there to help, get those bad habits out. I mean, she had a really great, little run with Kylie Rae, which with me, Kylie Rae runs hot and cold with me, to be honest. And it's actually, I think it's improved what Kylie Rae does. That's just my opinion. But yeah, so it's interesting. But going back to the whole ladies thing, I just don't understand why it took them so long to bring Roxanne up to the main roster.
I think I have an answer for that.
She kept flopping and going up there, but then would come back. But what's your answer? That I never understood.
A baby, because it occurred to me, because I've been saying this since she got there. She doesn't need NXT. Yeah. NXT needed her. And the thing is, she's a baby. When she debuted on the main roster, she was the youngest person on the roster. When she main evented Raw two or 3 weeks ago, she's the youngest person to ever in the history of Raw main event Raw. Wow. She's a baby. So not only do they go like, hey, we've got a ready-made star, but we've got a lot of stars doing good shit over here. Maybe she can help build us a foundation over here, and then we can kind of squeeze her in here. And the thing is, we've got more decades with her than we've ever had with any woman in front of her.
Yeah, that's true.
She doesn't break her neck. And fucking who knows, right?
Yeah.
God forbid, whatever, knock on wood, whatever you do, whatever you pray to, as long as she doesn't get a serious injury, we've got like 40 years with her. You know what I mean? So I think they felt like, and rightfully so, they had time.
Yeah. And Clark, I'm going to touch in with what you said about Kylie Rae burned herself out for me. You know what? My big thing with her was it was so start, stop, and wah, that a lot of people, she lost a lot of credibility with people. Is it too late for her? Maybe. I think she needs to drop the little gimmick. That's just me. But
it's, we said the same thing about Bayley. And it inevitably happened, and she's been fucking amazing for it ever since.
But can Kylie
Kaylee's
do
a little
pull it off?
doing that?
Yeah,
it doesn't look cutesy at a certain point when you're like pushing 40.
No,
no. She still looks good for pushing 40. Just saying.
I don't know what her age is.
I did love the fact that Wendy Chu destroyed that fucking doll,
bro. And that's what
Kylie Rae had. Her son's, it was a little toy bear, stuffed bear. Oh God, Wendy Chu ripped the head off and just went to town. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And that's what Wendy Chu brings down there.
For the record, Kylie Rae's 32. She's not pushing 40. I was exaggerating. I don't want people to think I'm saying she looks like she's fucking 40s.
God no, she still looks in her 20s. She looks good for her age, even at 32.
Yeah, but at a certain point, this gets a little tired if that's all you've been doing. Clark says he didn't agree with something, but who knows what that thing is. And then, I mean, and the idea that you might not agree that they didn't feel like they had time with Roxanne is bizarre.
Yep, she is very,
and she's very inconsistent. She's the Leo Rush of the women's division. And then he says that he thinks Bailey has one more great babyface run in her. She's on a babyface run now. Like,
Yeah, that's what
the
she's
thing
doing
is
now.
she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't have to go backwards.
When they
She's
let her
been
wrestle.
on a babyface run. Her last WrestleMania win was a babyface win.
Her pull out of that WrestleMania, dude. That's something you get asked. You don't. It's not something that's just done to you because that's a
Was
big
what?
payday. Oh, where she got switched out for Becky.
That was the plan all along, and so I know
Yeah.
that she agreed with it. That doesn't mean that she felt good about it, and it doesn't mean it was the right thing or the just thing either.
That's
So
true.
yeah, she's getting paid, but sometimes you just be a good soldier, and sometimes that gets you fucking left outside.
Yeah, no, I'm with Karen Cross on that one. Sometimes being the good soldier gets you left off of pay-per-views, gets you left out of matches, sitting in catering. Well,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Yeah. Did you guys hear the Chris Van Vliet interview with Bailey before the Mania?
I did not know.
I would highly, highly recommend it. And then I would also follow it up with Lyra Valkyria's interview with him as well. I don't always pitch him all the time. I think he's kind of a softball interviewer, but it can be nice. I think he's a very nice guy, incredible dude. And I think we do need softball guys out there to get some of these stories out. But Bailey brings up, this is right before day 2 of WrestleMania. And he asks her about, like, being pulled from this and being used for this and not doing for that. And she goes, by the time this comes out, you don't even know. And he goes, wait, what does that mean? And she just goes, the thing is, and she starts to talk about something else, but you can tell she's like choked up and thinking about, like, you don't even realize that I'm about to be cut from WrestleMania so Becky can come in and win a match just to lose the next night, just to have a program for a mid-card title in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
All without me. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I'm setting this whole thing up. We sacrificed Bailey and Roxanne one-on-one at Mania so we could get Becky one-on-one with Lyra in Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? Like, those are not the same to me, right? But you should hear the way she talks about it, the way it comes up. You're right. She knew it was going to happen, but she also knew that this isn't right.
Well, it's the same thing with Cross. Cross, literally every segment he had on for the last 2 months has been done when they do that. You only got to see it if you were ad free or something got put up. Like the whole thing with AJ and Logan Paul, that whole fucking match deal, he carried that on his back, getting no fucking ring time. He's got finally a nice little groundswell.
Oh yeah.
And he fucking deserves it. The dude, he should have been on card at a place, like, he was right. It's a work shoot, but he was right. Yeah. And it's good to see him finally getting his shine. I do think that these, Johnny Come Lately fucking fans who have no idea the many miles he's put on his back.
I've been talking
or
about
his wife
before he got signed with NXT. I almost interviewed him on this show before NXT.
Shit.
It was literally the week before he signed with NXT. Someone offered me an interview with him, and I was like, we're really not that kind of show.
Marsh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He was on the show at the time.
You probably could get Hammerstone too.
I could probably reach out to him. I know him, but
yeah, probably get Hammerstone.
It is what it is. If you want to be on this, like, and that's part of the thing is sometimes you got to make your moment. Like Naomi with the glow in the dark fucking belt. She could have been fired dead on spot. If it hadn't worked, she was done.
And they didn't love it, but they let her do it. Or they didn't let her do it, but they let her go out with it that night. They were upset, and they wanted to see how people would react. And people reacted positively, and they said, okay.
We won't fire you today.
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
I do want to catch up on Clark saying you got to accept that part of the business when you're not at the top. It is what it is. But that's also part of that interview, which is why I'm suggesting you guys hear it. She talks about what is different between her and Becky and Charlotte. Why do they get to do those? Why are they at a higher level? And what can she do different and be different? The answer is there's no answer, right? She's not on a lower level than them in ring or on promo or in character. Even he says he wants to run with the wacky inflatable tube guys. It's nostalgic to him. Sure, I love that era. I got that era on my wall over here. But at the same time, to pretend she's not one of the top 4 women in the entire company at any given moment
And she is
ridiculous. Like, she just is,
Yeah.
you know? And so, like, that's her whole thing is, what is it going to take to get me here, you know?
Yeah.
And they just, I think what a lot of it comes down to is the Beckys and the Charlottes are willing to stand in the office and just say no. They're just go, well, then I'm not going out there. Find something else to do for that 20 minutes you wanted me to have on TV. And I think Bailey won't sacrifice the TV time or won't put the company in that position. But I think Charlotte and Becky will. They will give creative the ultimatum. You do it the way I want to do it, or I'm just not doing anything at all. You know?
Well, you know what, Clark? I want booty short Ricky Stark Saints, but the likelihood of that is slim to none. So I'll just compare that with the wacky inflatable dudes.
Oh, yeah.
It's gone. Not happening. Not happening.
Well, and it is a very interesting thing that there are so many people on the roster up and down. Some you would not even expect. Like, you know, most people who watch Dexter Lumis, you know, at NXT,
don't.
Chill for a minute.
No, but I love how you just derailed what my segment, my segment. I tried to fucking go in a certain way.
Honey, I'm tying it back in.
Don't, unless we're talking about.
This is me, not the. Okay, good. All right. Anyway,
don't you dare. Not allowed to use that.
My God, I got thrown out of the gang signs. Anyway, you know, you look at somebody like a Dexter Lumis, who, you know, you look at his NXT run, you look at what he's doing now, the look has changed. There's a significant shift from that character where, you know, even in presentation, it's different. It's much in the same way as with, you know, Ricky Saints or Stark.
No. That is a bad. That is
No.
a horrible
When he was with
comparison. Don't shake your finger at me.
Stop. Like he
Hold
had
on.
no ambition. He was left to die on the outside. He was going down escalators.
You're not gonna. You're not gonna win this.
In the mall.
I'll let you know now. You're not gonna win this.
Then you just need to accept the fact that.
No.
It's a point.
But Dexter Lumis as a character has gotten in people's brains that I could give a fuck what he does now. Well, it was just so awful at a point that I'm just like, nope, not interested.
And if that's where it is, and you're not willing to give somebody a chance, how can you expect people that only know AEW Ricky Saints or Ricky Starks in comparison to Ricky Saints? These are different entities entirely.
No, it's the same company though. But here's the thing with Ricky, though.
Not WWE, baby. I love you to death, but that ain't the thing.
Let me tell you, okay? Let me tell you, as someone who really is I think I'm the utmost aficionado. Okay. When it comes to this guy, okay? Because I can shut those fucking gatekeepers down in fucking Orlando down. Okay. His thing was, don't use the peaches to pacify me.
No, I went with this. 2 thumbs up. Go for it.
So the thing with Ricky, and it's always been, is his fault was he played the backstage politics game. Where did that get him? It got him nowhere, right? And he chose to find another route when he wasn't seeing the results of it. And unfortunately, the other route, Cody Rhodes, was not the route to go to at the time, because that's around, you know, like Cody almost a year before he left. So again, his backstage politicking.
I thought he went Cody Punk.
He went
Cody Punk.
I thought he went Punk Cody.
Did he go Punk Cody? I thought he went Cody Punk.
Cody Punk. Yeah. That was the next one. Because once Cody was gone, you know, like, and so that was the thing, was he basically tried to hop on, you know, right, you know, for the help. Okay. Did fucking Dexter Lumis do that? No. Okay, that's just
you're aware of.
Well,
my
I'm just saying
is, and This
Yeah, I
is
did
why I
roll my
wanted,
eyes.
no. I wanted you to roll your eyes. I want you to be enthusiastic. You had a point you wanted to talk about. You wanted to get into the match and everything that's going on. Oh,
I'm trying to make my point.
okay. Make a point. Make a point.
Is that what he? There's a totally different difference there. Okay,
Mhm.
Ricky, I don't even want to say character, but Ricky was not made this like really kind of creepy, almost like joke. Okay, it
Right.
was more of a joke of you're still on the roster, you're not working. Yeah, the start stop, that was a joke, but it wasn't like something that affected like how people felt about him, his character or whatnot. Whereas Dexter Loomis, again, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them in the same conversation at all. I think Dexter Loomis has been nothing but lose since he got there. He was a mediocre character that got washed out by Johnny Gargano's shitty comedy with horrible timing and got lost in a whole bunch of bullshit. And then now he's somebody else's gimmick that he doesn't know how to make work, and he's just trying to be weird for weird's sake. He's failing all the way around. Ricky's not changed who he is. Dexter has no idea who the fuck he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Ricky's doing the same thing he's always done. Matter of fact, I think he's doing too much of the old shit. I was watching his matches. He's still doing the little fucking on the ropes and then fucking posing. I'm like, okay, dude, the guy should just pull you down. You know what I mean? But someone probably will. At some point, he'll be doing something flashy. Someone's going to yank him down. It's going to be great. Mm-hmm. But Ricky's been the same character everywhere he's been, from NWA to AEW to back to the fucking indies and then back into WWE. It's all the same. Dexter's not been the same thing for longer than a couple of months because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He has no idea. He's just trying to be a yes man to whoever creative they throw at him. He doesn't have creative on his own. And Ricky is confident in who he is as a person / character, and wherever that fucking border lies or doesn't lie, the authentic or not, right? The Austin's at 11, Ricky at 11, whatever that means. But he's making tweaks to certain things, but he's the same person in the ring. He's the same character in there completely. Mm-hmm. He's a different name because of licensing and money.
He's actually enthusiastic about what he's doing rather than just being there by existing.
Which he was when he got to NWA, which he was when he got to AEW. Mm-hmm. He never stopped being that in NWA till they stopped calling him back. He never stopped being that in AEW till they stopped fucking calling him back. You can only be so excited when you're alone in the fucking back, right? So he's excited because he's getting callbacks. He's in conversations. When he was getting that at every other company, he was equally as excited. But when they started saying fuck you and letting Edge try to run all over him and then trying to take Edge aside, even though he fucking ran over Edge in that fucking thing, when he ran over MJF, he's getting punished backstage for doing good shit out front, where now he does good shit out front. And in backstage, you're not going to say you shouldn't do that. They say, hey, dude, that other guy should have fucking held his own, and he couldn't. He's finally in an environment where he can thrive because he doesn't have to stifle himself to appease the egos both in ring and backstage.
Mm-hmm.
In WWE and NXT, the egos are handled way differently.
That part I agree with. They're handled differently, but I think my point is not going to hit home, so I'm just going to drop it. No harm, no foul. You're not going to see it, so I'm not going to sit there and keep going. But look, see, you do, you don't. I mean,
that's it, but it's just not a good comparison. It's not.
May not be, but
you'll find the right comparison.
You'll find it one day. But yeah, no, it's not.
You just don't like the comparison that I used.
Well, yeah, because Dexter's
no, no, it's not even that. The comparison is like, are you kidding me? Yeah, no, two different things. Two different things.
You can't say, Clark. He says, give Dexter a solid manager, which doesn't really exist anymore. And he goes, and he overtakes Ricky with no need to compare. That's the problem. He needs something. He's lacking something. You're saying Ricky on his own could maybe not take on two people at once. So you're already telling me that Dexter is already at fault. Dexter's already half the person that Ricky is, half the character, half the presentation that Ricky is. This is a Clark argument, not a Digi argument. To say that, if you give him a manager, if you give him someone who can talk better than Ricky, if you can out Ricky, then Ricky looks less. You're talking.
I come at it from a different No, I mean, it's like, I get it's from a different point. When you
Yes, someone needing a manager is a fault. Absolutely. Absolutely.
needing a manager is a way to compensating for somebody who doesn't have mic skill.
Yes.
That's why Brock Lesnar had Paul Heyman. That's why Suffering Succotash had to be removed from Roman Reigns' lingo, etc., and so on.
Just to answer this,
That's
Clark
what-
sees it as a plus. Yes, the company sees it as a plus because they could make money with Brock Lesnar if somebody else talked for him. They couldn't make money with Brock Lesnar if someone doesn't talk for him until he figured out how to talk 2 decades in, which is fine. But that's
Mhm.
not a character issue. That's a business issue, right?
Yeah.
You need to get your money back. You know that this guy can go in the ring. He just can't make anyone give a fuck. So you need to get someone else. You got to pay 2 salaries to get 1 fan to give a fuck about 1 person. That is not a plus in general for that person. I'd rather be the character that doesn't need backup to matter, right?
Well, with Ricochet, that's his problem, that they should have given him a manager until he could actually get more comfortable in that mic. Because when he went to NXT, I'm like, oh, I hope they work on. The first thing I said was, I hope they work on his mic skills.
Yeah, he's
Guess
struggled.
they didn't really. Must have missed those days of class. But yeah, I'm just saying. Mhm. No, I'm not. There is no shame of having a manager. But in this
But you
case,
can't, yeah. But
Manager's
in this
a
case,
big
your
part of-
argument is that Dexter's better with a manager than Ricky is alone, but one-on-one, Dexter's worse than Ricky. So in my mind, you get Ricky at that point, then give Ricky the fucking Heenan. If you're going to say it's a Rick Rude Heenan thing, don't give it to somebody who can't hold his own. Give it to somebody who's already holding his own, right? And Punk was a Heyman guy, and Punk is still fucking worthless.
he's always been worthless.
Like,
But
I've not seen a single promo that's been believable. The guy's a fucking hypocrite in every promo he does. His entire character is up his own asshole. Into the craziest bit about all this is every time he's doing shit, he's being a hypocrite, and everyone still cheers it. He literally had a whole program with Drew about how Drew won't face a man-to-man, and the entire program, Punk is hiding all over the arena. I'm up here. Come face me like a man. So fucking Drew charges him to face him like a man. Oh, I'm smarter than you because I hid over here now. Now I'm down here and you're up there. Who's not facing who like a man? He was telling Paul Heyman, I would never put you in harm's way, as he's hugging him as Roman walks out of the car, knowing full well that puts Heyman in harm's way. Punk never cared about any of these characters in kayfabe, and then he tries to pretend like he's this noble one. He either doesn't understand his whole character at all, or his entire character has to be a hypocrite to survive. And either way, he's an asshole.
it's because he's a hypocrite and an asshole behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Said
now,
it before in episode 1 many a time.
He says Dexter with a manager has more upside than Ricky Solo, and I stand by that. You can stand by that all you want, but point to me one fucking Dexter Loomis match, not a fucking Sam Shepard match. Point to me one Dexter Loomis match that's better than any single Ricky Saints match. Because I'll tell you right now,
the hyphen.
well, I'm going to give him the same. I'm not going to say give me a Starks match because there's a shitload of Starks matches. There's a smaller pool of Saints matches that are all still
That's
better
true.
than every single Dexter match.
That's not saying a lot, though.
well,
Let's be real.
that's because
But yeah, no.
OVW only has but so many matches you can watch at any given time. And its first biggest prominence
It's
was doing the
an
fucking
availability.
TNA shit. That TNA recruitment gimmick thing.
These are fighting words.
I-
Feisty today. Not you. I'm just reading the chat.
No, I'm.
Just
Like,
reading the chat.
That's part of where my shade comes in, and I can accept that. Even kind of had to mull it over and acknowledge in my head a lot of that's coming from 2010s, 2015s.
Hey, dude, we all got our blind spots.
Yeah, and I'm willing to accept that. But I do think this Ricky is the best Ricky I've seen yet.
Well,
He's
Clark,
got the most upside.
I point to
Yep.
seeing upwards of 10 Ricky matches. Never captivated me. And he says he accepts the hate.
He
Not
never
only that
saw
it's
the butt
hate.
once. I'm kidding.
What?
Did he never saw
Oh,
the belt one?
I ain't even gone there yet. No. Except the upside, but it's not drawing money. Because let me tell you why it's not drawing. It will not draw money. It's because Ethan Page is mid card. Yes, Ethan Page is gonna forever be mid card. He's mid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only time he ever really accelerated was when he was in the North. Okay.
Yes.
That was main event type of quality as a tag team, because him, Josh Alexander, they're good and bad worked for them.
Yeah.
And they were amazing.
I won't watch
Now,
Ricky Page matches because I didn't watch AEW Collision either.
Yeah.
Page is not great. He's okay.
I don't think he had one. He's had him on the indies. He had him for Alpha One because Ethan Page used to book him on Alpha One. Oh yeah. If you go and
no, I'm saying Page versus Ricky Starks was on Collision, or the type of match that would be on Collision.
No.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything I was going to watch then. It's not something I'm going to watch now.
Well,
if you do watch, if you do go on YouTube and type in Ethan Page, Ricky Starks, not Saints, there will be a match that comes up from Alpha One. And so all of these women who they have their little sign, blessed like Ricky, and I'm not being a hater, I'm saying, like, have you ever seen those matches? Because if you did, that's being blessed by Ricky. Enough said. Or if it's in your face. Yeah. How'd that happen to you? Yeah. But anyways, cold poll. How many people here? I do believe that Ricky has money drawing potential. I do.
Absolutely.
The problem is with Ricky right now is in the NXT realm right now, because of the shit that they're doing with TNA, right? There's no spot for him up there yet. It's coming, because when you look at everybody else down there, you've got fucking you've got Wesley, who again, as Marsh said, was been there for 10 years, a decade. You've got what's his face? Tony D'Angelo's been there a decade. At least
I forgot he was even there.
I think Ricky spends less time in NXT than D'Angelo or Wesley. I think he'll actually go to the main roster before either of them do.
Very
I don't
much
see Ricky staying there much longer. They know that they're ready for him on the main roster. They have a whole mid card of shit that's right now that's completely hyper focused on the luchadors because the AAA stuff. So all the mid card is hyper luchador. As soon as AAA happens and they kind of move on in a degree where you get less of a hyper focus to sell this one event, I wouldn't be surprised if Ricky's called up in the next couple months.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of why I thought that Bakir lost the titles, because of her strong affiliation, spending most of her South American career with MLW. Just to kind of Stephanie Bakir was MLW. She wasn't AAA.
That's cool.
And that's a whole
CMLL?
Or not CL. Yeah, CMLL is where she was at. She didn't do AAA. She wasn't one of Conan's gals.
Yeah. No, I knew that.
Right, but it's a cultural thing. It's like a weird fucking rivalry, like WWF and WCW back in the day. Similar line. That's probably what they took the title off of her.
Oh, I hate you. I hate you bots.
I just don't get the connection necessarily, because I was talking about the men's division mid card is all.
Oh, I was just the lucha thing got stuck in my head, and there's fucking bots, and that just threw my head off. Excuse me while I take out the trash.
Clark says, I hope I'm wrong. I hope his everything comes true. I just don't see it. The only enemy that Ricky Saints has is himself.
Well,
that's the damn
truth.
That is
I don't
the
know.
damn truth.
I definitely think he has money drawing power, and I think he could be. I'm trying to think of where I think he could, like, because at the end of the day, they all can prove anybody wrong at any given moment, right? I'm not surprised LA Knight's kind of where he's at right now, but I do think that he's got like a main event mania potential, but he might be out of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just tough to say. Ricky, I kind of see as being an LA Knight type, where I think he can get the crowd to fucking go nuts for him. I don't know if he's in the main event WrestleMania Night 2 potential.
No,
That's not to
first
say he
night, yeah.
couldn't. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying with time, right? With time,
Yeah.
whatever, right? But in this moment, I go, I don't know that hard work is enough to get you all the way there, right?
No, there's some
and I did-
politicking.
Yeah,
There's some other
Circumstance as
things.
well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but
and circumstances. Yeah,
I will say this: I have 6 words. Money in the Bank, New Orleans. It's
that's no longer a thing, apparently.
Money in the Bank
that
in New
happening?
Orleans.
Or is it happening now? Or,
Oh,
I don't know.
so they pulled WrestleMania in New Orleans, and
Yeah.
they said they're going to get a Money in the Bank like in a year or
Mhm.
2 or some shit.
2026. Yes, next
That's
year.
insanity.
So he will get that Dan belt, and the only way he'll really main event a WrestleMania night 2 is him cashing in. And it would be sweet if if Cody had the belt and cashed it in on Cody.
I don't know. I think he's got the skills on the mic in the ring to do it otherwise. It's really
He does. He does, but because I mean,
like LA Knight.
the guy
now.
sells. The guy sells, Clark. He sells. Okay. I'm sorry. There's all these other shits who like to fucking no sell. I'm sorry. Did you Marsh see the spot yesterday when
Ricky
his
took it to his throat.
Yeah,
he went through the chair?
Yeah,
You did?
that was.
I'm more
rough.
concerned about the rope thing. That looked fucked.
They both looked bad. Doesn't matter because he's got the bad neck. And so for me, I first, because I've seen him wrestle like a lot. And when I first looked at him, I'm like, this is different than him getting choked out and turning purple with a belt. This was another element. And I think he at first was choking on his fucking saliva. I think he was.
Well,
And you can tell he really couldn't breathe. And if he was fucking just playing me, then oh shit.
getting hit in the neck, like in the throat, like that can be fatal. If
I
taken
know.
off.
Yeah, that was
I
not
know.
good.
That was not good. Now, Ethan Page, hey, it's all good. But I think that at the end of the day, I really think that he lost the belt. Was it short lived? Yes, it was.
But
is he what now Ethan Page is getting as a 4-way? Javon Evans and Phoenix, Laredo Kid. Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a great match. On paper, I think it looks fucking amazing.
Yeah. But I did in my way. Okay. Now Ricky has added some things into his repertoire. For example, during Battleground, okay, Ricky came out and talked, right? He had a great outfit on. White pants, enough said. Anyways, but
you
I
can
have to
see
get
the
that
elephant trunk, baby.
That was like, whoa. I'm like, whoa. And then obviously Ethan Page comes out, they, do their thing, and I'm sitting there, Ricky, it would be bad if your pants split, because that happens to people. But did know that he was wearing black underwear underneath. It's like, bro, light colored, please. Just But anyways, so
lies.
Lies. What's a lie? What is a lie? What is a lie?
I don't know.
He was wearing black underwear, or was it?
He might be talking about this one. It says it's a pretty safe bet that Sammy Rollins main event night 1 and feel like Punk Cody main event night 2. I couldn't.
No, I see what he said lies about.
Yeah, even I want to see the pants split. Yeah, everyone wants those pants to split.
Everyone wants the pants to split.
I mean,
but everyone
I know a guy.
But everyone also forgets his indie run in one of the spots he used to do. You don't need to see pants split. Just saying. But no, he actually got
bitch on X. I've seen way more of him than I ever want to see flopped up on a fucking sink. That's enough.
That photo makes me laugh every time. I'm like, come on, dude. Because I know the guy. But hold on. Okay.
And
you never know, Sammy. Sammy's a little engine that could. He's like Ricky in that sense. You know, he is. I can compare the two of them. Very similar. You know, going to be
he's
a
talking
workhorse.
about Guevara.
No, he's
talking
talking about Zayn.
Jimmy Zayn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Sammy doesn't
anyways.
do. Go ahead, you do you. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Real quick, so I can end that segment. One of the things that Ricky did, and this has changed adding something different to his repertoire, is so they were having security guards kind of break the two of them up because they were just, whatever. So Ethan Page on the ground near commentary, all these security guys are trying to hold him back. What does Ricky do? Climbs up to the top rope and fucking dives off. I've never seen that guy dive off a top rope, let alone,
I would see Foley could trust him.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of shocking to me. I was like, why are you climbing up on the ropes? What are you doing? Yeah. So yeah. That's when I saw the black underwear. So anyways, sorry. I digress.
Clark's going on and on and on about people being too old for events, and I just want to throw out real quick. He's like, "Why would you ever crown a plus 40 champion?" And just for reference, Diamond Dallas Page was 43 when he won his first world title, and the answer is because sometimes the story can take you there. Cena's 48, and he just got crowned another champion. Why would you? And I'm not saying that Cena's not an exception. DDP's not an exception. My answer to you is there are exceptions. You might not want to hitch your wagon to somebody who's in the later stage of their careers for that long, but it doesn't mean that the moments don't work, or that the story doesn't get you there, or that there's any kind of reason to not, just because of age. Like, that's just kind of silly, especially given the idea that, like, the majority of top guys right now, if you look at the main event scene, almost all of them are older than Jake the Snake was during the storyline that Stone Cold was burying him for being too old. At that time, Jake was like, what, 35 or 36? And they were talking about him like he was fucking the oldest man on the planet. And right now you have AJ Styles in his 40s. Bobby Lashley's not there anymore, but even if he was, we can all agree he'd be in the world title conversation at some point, even in his 40s, because the guy's a fucking beast. LA Knight looks like a monster. You know what I mean? Like, there are reasons to crown someone, even if they're a 1 or 2 times champion. Foley was not crowned a champion because he was going to be the bearer of the brand for eternity, even though he kind of is at this point. But you can crown these people these things for, other reasons than just like, hey, he's too old to win a championship. Like, that's just kind of a dumb argument to me.
Like,
I don't see any weight there.
If you want old farts winning championships, go to AEW.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Like,
he's saying specifically it can't happen at Mania. I just don't think that's an absolute.
I think anything can be done at Mania as long as you build it right.
Yeah. I'm saying stories can get you there. Moments can get you there, especially for a guy like LA Knight specifically. And here's the other deal. Let's not forget that Triple H is a sappy old man. Triple H has been giving a lot of people shit just because he can and just because it's their moment. And I'll be honest, I don't like a lot of it. There's a lot of times where I go, oh, we're going to do this for this guy just so we can say he did it the one time. You know what I mean? He gave Becky the fucking tag title run with Lita in the worst storyline of the year with no redeeming matches, and everyone was a fucking bust. And it was just so she can say she fucking tagged with him and had a match with Trish. You know what I mean? Like, fuck off. Like, with the idea of, like, let's not pretend that Triple H isn't sappy. The idea that LA Knight wasn't even signed till his 40s, to me, gives more weight that they could give him these things he always should have had.
Well,
you know what I mean?
If I may be that, but actually, he was Eli Drake before he was LA Knight, before he was some manager in NXT.
Yeah.
And even at his worst day at WWE, like, he could run circles around a lot of these guys. That's why it took him literally one segment to bury Carmelo Hayes' entire fucking career. Took one shot. Yeah, it just, not everybody's built the same way, I mean, not everybody is, able to run 30 fucking years and go. Some people are Kevin Nash, who just looks at a ring and pulls a quad.
Mm.
Just
Also, I mean, I don't want to go into like details, but knowing who got LA Knight the job kind of leads me to believe that. Now, I'm not saying LA Knight's going to be winning a title at Mania, but there are people who were involved in him getting the gig. There are the reasons he's there now. There was the way he got to be LA Knight here. There's a whole lot of, I could see Triple H being like, yeah, but it's the right thing to do for him. I mean, oh, but wouldn't it be good for him? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I do agree that if Vince was still in charge, there's just no fucking way. But we're with a sappy Triple H now. Things are different.
Well, that, and you've also got, at least in terms of LA Knight, I mean, you've got the Monster Abyss is working backstage as a producer. You have an alumni of fucking TNA talent.
Yeah.
Going back forever in a fucking day.
Films and shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's got all the backing in the world.
Bruce Pritchard was TNA back in the day.
Yeah, for a brief stint, I do believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is in his 40s, but I'll guarantee you this much. In his 40s, he still looks better than some of the guys running around now. Like, that's no hate. I love me some Tozawa, but that's like
Roman Reigns is
LA
40.
Knight. Yeah.
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 Cody Rhodes is 39.
Styles is just, what is 41?
AJ Styles is 47. He's almost 50.
Yeah.
God damn. I didn't say he was hot. I said he was capable. Oh, wait. Hot as in over with the crowd. No, everybody loves fuck his. You can't take him nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like this. If LA Knight, Joseph says, if LA Knight wins Money in the Bank, he'll win a major title, but Seth seems like he's destined to dethrone Jay. Yeah, my biggest problem with Seth right now is that like his character having a title has never meant anything ever.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, is 39.
And not in a very long time. Though,
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ricky's 35.
I would say you wouldn't put Styles in the main, but let's face it, Styles is even sad. He's on his way out. He wants to spend time with his family.
Sure, but could he not go? If he wanted to, could he go?
If he wanted to, fuck yeah. And then some. He made Logan
48.
Paul look like a main contender.
R-Truth just had a title match.
Yeah.
R-Truth is the fucking man.
R-Truth is
He's
old.
53.
53 and hung out with Tupac.
Motherfucker,
Yes, he
black
did.
don't crack. I've said that before in episode 1. Just like
I
Agent
love-
No Reason.
Randy Orton's 45. I'm just saying the idea of trying to specifically say at 40 you're done and that's it is kind of ridiculous. And I even get the idea of being like, well, it's a crowning moment. They were stars before. There are exceptions to rules. There are exceptions to circumstance. The idea that it took LA Knight this long to get here, I think, with a sappy old man, Triple H, it just lends to the idea that it's not impossible.
Right. And look, when we talk about champions, I mean, we had Flair was a running active champion until what, his 50s?
Who?
I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
Flair? Yeah. And that was with more than one.
Sami Zayn is 40, by the way. So if he does get
Mm.
this world title, like people are suggesting potentially in the thing, that would be a crowning moment. He'd be 40 years old.
If Sami's going to get it,
Jey Uso's 39, by the way, who just had his crowning moment.
Jimmy's always
Yeah,
going to be the
old.
bridesmaid.
Yep. Gunther,
Oh, I'm
who
sorry.
just became champion this year, is 37.
JC Mateo. Sorry.
Look,
JC Mateo is really fucking old.
I love you, JC.
I love you, JC Mateo.
We're gonna,
I can't do that. I can't do that. Okay.
Hey.
Known him for a long time is that's either my Ohana or it's fucking Jeff Cobb. I'm sorry.
all right, Marsh,
To be
we need a
honest, there's
shirt.
not even a Wikipedia for Mateo yet. Only a Jeff Cobb.
Can
He's 42, by the way.
we have a shirt that says "I love you, JC" and it just this?
No.
Okay.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeah. You know, Yeet.
He does say, well, I will say yeet for that argument. That's all I'm saying is that, like, dude, we can't just think in absolutes. And the best times we have as drunken wrestling fans is speculating about the possibilities of people we love having moments they remember for all of their life as well as ours. You know what I mean?
It's like
So
with Corey
I'm just
Graves.
going to say that if you want to come at me crazy with these things of why something can never happen, you got to come more with he's 40. Okay. That's not that strong an argument to me.
Well, it's like, and I love bringing this guy up because Corey Graves could go in the fucking ring. He could clearly work on Mike. One fucking injury, he will never step in the ring again. It's never gonna fucking happen.
And that's my point. Clark says, if the story's there, come at me. And he says, give me a 50-year-old if the story is there. That's my point. If the story gets me there, I'm there. And that's what I'm saying. I think LA Knight time may have passed, not because of his age, but because of the stories that I'm looking at now.
Yeah, circumstance.
Yeah. That do I think he's not capable of having a fucking barn burner main event at WrestleMania? Absolutely he could. He absolutely could. Are we in a position today where I see how we get to there in April and we all are on board and on fire for it? I don't.
No.
No.
I don't see it. But
No. I think that what like Marsh was saying earlier about, you know, like seeing moments and stuff. Everyone knows me. Goddamn emotional. I'm a wreck. God forbid, it's one of my favorites. I'm a wreck. Marsh saw it the first time he met me. I don't know if he noticed, but yeah. NWA and Ricky read that. Oh, yeah. Total everywhere. He won the damn Defy championship. Yeah. Seriously. Like, yeah. I mean, I wish I was there when he won the North American title. I would have been fucked up. Yeah, but no. But I was like that at the goddamn pay-per-view. I was like that at Stand and Deliver. I was like that when I saw him with the belt, like up close. I'm just that person. I am that person.
And
that's my story.
And much to that point, you know, Ellen, you can throw any story match you want, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. But that also means it isn't going to happen either. Well, some booking decisions are blatantly obvious. You know, nobody. If you would have told anybody Charlotte's going to come back and lose to Tiffany Stratton, you know, a month beforehand, hell, 2 weeks beforehand, they would have told you you're out your fucking mind. Yet here we are.
Yeah,
you know, it's one part talent, one part opportunity, and one part execution.
Yeah.
You know, we can speculate to high heaven all we want, you know. Imagine being a Wyatt Six fan. Most of us are still speculating when they're going to show up on TV.
That's how I used to be with Ricky.
This is a fact.
Hashtag facts. Yeah. I get paid to speculate. Yeah.
You get paid to speculate. I don't.
But I would not mind getting paid to just look at Ricky's ass. Would not mind that.
Brought to you by Bucky's Beaver.
Bucky's.
See, we could do that.
The truck stop of wrestlers.
The truck stops here.
Mm-hmm.
We got to work on that.
I know we need to figure that out. Yeah. Shout out to my sponsor, not sponsored. But no. I will say, okay, you know, age is one of those things. Unfortunately, now in the indies,
that is a win.
Marsh also made the joke earlier, and
you know, I just realized what Joseph just said, and I apologize. I was looking at 12 other things, and I got scatterbrained for a minute. Drew definitely deserves. Oh, I don't feel like deserves. I feel like the word is earned. Drew has earned a title run that doesn't end in like 5 seconds. Like
Drew is saint worthy.
That dude, he's seen the shit ends of both sides of that stick.
Yeah. And it's like that guy can be bitter forever and it's fine. But you know what? It makes one for a good story. And two, not only that, but you kind of at the end of the day want to root for the guy. right? And it's really reinvigorated his career, I think.
I'm gonna say the worst thing I could possibly say in the positive light I can in terms of Drew. I am glad Drew got fired and went to TNA because it unfucked a lot of his bad habits. So when he came back, we got the best version.
He had a good run in ICW in Scotland. He had a great run on some of the indies, not all of them.
Yeah.
But it really kind of helped him out. And I think that that was one.
That's true, but Drew had a very different road because he came in hailed as the next big thing.
Chosen one.
Yeah, well, chosen one. The next, there was sunshine flowing out of that dude's ass.
Brock Lesnar was the next big thing. Drew was the chosen one.
It's all the same shit to me. One of them did. No, one of them can actually come off the top rope without damn near breaking his neck.
You have any idea how many times Brock Lesnar did that before he broke his neck? Millions.
That may be. It
wasn't that night. That just wasn't.
One of them was on TV.
One of them was on TV. Yeah, if you see old OVW footage, he did it a lot. It used to be like his finish.
Yeah.
And just nope.
Yeah. Everyone has a room.
Nope. No, and then he never did it again because he was like, well, that was the worst case scenario, and I don't want to do that again.
I do not. He came in at one of those positions where he got the title with no fucking fans in attendance, which is part of that big kickover is,
okay,
that had to suck. I mean, just
sure, but also
person to person had to suck.
Drew didn't deserve the championship at that point. He was a terrible character having shitty fucking stories in bad matches and came off entitled and awful. And for me, I didn't give a fuck that there was no crowd there. He also didn't appreciate, theoretically and seemingly, what the championship was to the company in the moment when they had no fans at all. Instead of being like, I'm going to be the dude that's going to make it matter that I won it this way, it was, I'm going to be the dude who cries and complains about, I didn't get it the way I wanted. I got it, but not the way I wanted. And I don't fucking have any time for people who get everything they ever wanted, but not the way they wanted it, so it'll never be good enough. I don't fucking have time for it. I don't give a shit. Fuck out of here with that.
You think that was bad creative?
No, I think it was bad attitude.
Well, I mean,
and I think it was a bad interpretation of his own character. I've said it a bunch of times. Drew had no fucking concept of his own character. He also had a super hyper literate vision of his character. When they called him a Scottish psychopath, he was on podcast being like, what am I supposed to do? Go out there and murder people? No. And he goes, then they call me a Terminator. Like, I'm supposed to be out there like a robot. So I started moving like a robot. That's not what they meant. Like, he took everything so fucking literal that I was like, you're not thinking of nuance. You're not thinking of character. You're not thinking of people. You're not thinking of story. You're not thinking of the whole bouquet of what we want here. You're just saying, give me this word. I'll do it to the T and to the most literal version of it. And I'm just not fucking about that. His character was also hypocritical, much like Punk is now. His character was also fucking disingenuous and came across like an asshole jock who everyone laughs at their jokes because they want to be the popular kid in school next to the other popular kid, not because they're fucking funny, right? Everyone laughs at the jock who's the most popular kid who could beat them all up because they just want to be a part of the group. That's who Drew was as a character. This whole year, 2 years almost now with Punk has brought out the side of Drew that I've been fucking begging for. There's old episode ones where I said, Drew is a perfect heel. Stop asking me to cheer for him. Stop having him wield this stupid, goofy sword. It doesn't mean anything and it's dumb.
I know that sword
was
awful.
It was horrible. Like, everything about his character was so bad. And so now he finally honed in and said, can I just say how I fucking feel? And then he goes out there and does it. And I go, that's the guy. That's the guy I can get behind. And that's what he's doing. And that's why I want him to win a championship now. Not because it's in front of fans, but because he's now authentic. And he hasn't been authentic this whole time.
I felt that way when he was with Drew Galloway. I felt that, like, this, what we're seeing now was how I kind of perceived him when he did his run with TNA, because it was just like, this is same, just a smaller stage.
Yeah.
And while WWE may be formulaic, that doesn't necessarily mean the terms card subject to change doesn't happen.
Yeah.
They, like any other company, can flip their shit on a dime. Like, Becky Lynch was not the one they intended to put to be the man.
No.
If it wasn't for that one fucking camera shot, she'd still be working mid-card, barely buffing Bailey's boots.
I have arguments to that, but nothing I think I can say on air. What I will say
Nothing that would be appropriate for air, huh?
Well, because I don't remember how I got some of the information I have.
No
one. Clark says no one laughs at the popular jock unless it's in private. Yes, you are mistaking me saying at and with. I was not saying laughing at him, at his jokes, with him. When the big popular jock makes a joke that's really dumb, we all go because we don't want to be outcast. And that was the character he was at that time.
We also don't want swirlies.
You don't want swirlies. Well, I do think at this point, I don't know the other options, but building up Drew to a big Mania win in front of fans, solid choice. And I'm on board with that now because I think that now it's his, man. It's fucking his. Like you said, without the fucking Money in the Bank bullshit, without Punk having to be involved in it. To be honest, if Punk vanished like fucking Thanos,
we'd all be better for it.
Care.
Oh, that'd be
I wouldn't
beautiful.
notice for months. It would be so.
Oh, I'd notice right away.
What happened?
I would notice right away. It would be like the Munchkins, like when fucking the Wicked Witch died.
I also understand the irony of me saying that Drew needed Punk to get here, but I also don't think Drew needs Punk to get there, right?
No. But I need Drew to just tell Punk to get fucked. Am I in the right circle? Did I understand the assignment, Professor Marsh?
You want Punk to get punked?
To get fucked with Rusty Cactus, yes.
Yeah, someone's got to thumb him, you know?
Yeah, just check the prostate a little bit with something sharp.
Let's see. Joseph says it's less certain with Cody because you don't even know who his opponent is. I know there's so much weird. Okay, can we just... I know I've hijacked so much of what you want to talk about, Miss Minijane. But can we for a second, before we have to wrap up because it's getting ridiculous?
Oh, yeah.
Do either of you think the Cena heel turn, the Cena heel story has been of quality?
Nope.
I do, but I think what's been more important was R-Truth.
What?
Okay. Laugh me out of the fucking booth on this one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain yourself on this one.
All right.
And I'm gonna mute myself because I don't want to laugh.
Me too.
I want you laughing is fine.
Oh.
Like,
I don't know.
No. Cena's heel turn has been met with lackluster results. The fans, instead of embracing he's the heel, he's gonna ruin wrestling, it just ended up with the same old shit. Nothing really changed. The point that really pissed off fans, or at least to what I could tell, and my own personal feelings, is when he AA'd Truth through the fucking table. Then he went through that match, and there was that, because people have been speculating a face turn. But it was that point, he's having that match with R-Truth, and instead of just beating the shit out of him with the belt, he stops. Granted, for a cheap, fucking groin check win, but if you ever want to piss off your fans, R-Truth is one of our national treasures because he might not be serious. He hasn't been serious since he was Ron the Killing's Truth. Now he's just that lovable goofball that he does weird, stupid shit. But the moment he got involved, I think, is where it started to really sink into people's heads that he's the heel. That Cena is legit a heel. It's not some, pass by moment, that this might be how we see him go out. That's
your fucking thought. Here's my thought. The second I saw R-Truth interact with Cena, I went, oh, here we fucking go again. This John Cena doesn't know how to be a fucking heel. He's giving everybody what they want. What was this whole moment? What was the Cena Truth story? a payoff on a 10-year-old joke about a dude who's older than another dude who claims a dude with his childhood hero. So he wanted to see a meme payoff? Fuck out of here with that. Him throwing him through the table was just another step in the same shitty road. He's a terrible heel because he's giving the fans everything they want. He's the biggest baby face in the company. Look in the fucking crowd. All Cena shirts and Yeet shirts. People are yeeting themselves or not seeing themselves. And no one gives a fuck about it. Everyone's playing along. John Cena and Becky Lynch are trying to become heels by saying, I'm better than the fans. And you know who doesn't give a fuck about that? The fucking fans. The only way to be a real heel is to be a piece of shit to the fucking other characters. This Becky Lynch promo she did with Lyra Valkyrie this last week, where she didn't ever mention the fans, it's the first heel thing she's done in 3 years because she just went ahead and said a bunch of bullshit to someone we like. Cena's not doing that. He's saying the shit we expect him to say the way we think he's going to say it, and we're clapping along. He's an MJF heel. He doesn't get it. You don't go get a big cheer and then say, and now boo me, and they say a boo. They're playing along, and the R-Truth thing couldn't be more playing along. And when you tell me we have a final Cena 17 title run with 20 days left in the thing, and you're gonna tell me he's gonna have a fucking title match with R-Truth, you know the one thing I think is not happening? Anything that matters. He had a shitty match with Cody, he had a shitty match with Orton, and he had a shitty match with R-Truth, and now he's in a shitty tag team with Logan Paul for no fucking reason. This is a waste of time. We have a real fucking worker who could actually be doing good quality work, and he's phoning it in. And the crowd is eating it up because all they want is the heel turn they always wanted, and they're getting it. They're happy. They're eating it up because for baby faces, we don't see that Austin stomping a mud hole never made contact by a mile because we love him. So John Cena's doing all this horrible shit, and we don't see it because we love him, and it's all we've ever wanted, and he's giving us everything we wanted. To me, it's the least watchable John Cena run we've ever had. No one's going to rewatch any of these matches. No one's going to rewatch him in R-Truth. But we're all going to rewatch him winning 16. And we're all going to rewatch him winning 15. We're going to see him lose 16 at the Elimination Chamber. We're going to see him fucking not get it at SummerSlam over and over and over again. But this is a heel giving the fans everything they want. Wouldn't it be nice to see him with Orton one more time? Wouldn't it be nice to have a payoff for the R-Truth joke we've been laughing at forever? It's not a fucking hit.
Well, it's not a hit with you. I was asked an opinion. I gave you my opinion, dick. I'm sorry you don't fucking agree with it, but when somebody wants to beat R-Truth's ass, I get a little personal about it, okay? Fuck you.
Did he beat his ass or throw him through a table one time and then someone else fucking came out and did something stupid?
I don't know. Right now, to this point, that's the last thing he did is he had to match, fucking beat him, and that was the end of it. We haven't seen him since.
No, wasn't he fucking with him and fucking Cody came out? That's what I'm saying. All of his matches now have these weird fucking endings that are just like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. That's my point. Is that like, it's not that even the matches haven't been as bad as the finishes. The Cody match, I was on the edge of my seat, and then Travis Scott music played, and I was like, well,
fuck.
Orton, I'm on the edge of my seat, and then R-Truth shows up, and I went, fuck.
Yeah, here we go.
You know what it reminds me of, though? And maybe this is part of that member berries. Remember how much Dennis Rodman used to be a pain in everyone's ass back in WCW days with the NWO? He did the same shit.
He was the worm, dude.
Yeah. That's what Travis Scott is now. Like, a lot of this isn't surprising to me. So I take these little bits of things I like, and I try to enjoy what I can out of them.
You cannot be enjoying things, dude. You got to stop.
No.
Dude, the difference in Rodman and Travis Scott is like 4 feet and 200 pounds.
And really shitty dye jobs. But, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure Travis Scott doesn't have a shitty dye job?
I'm pretty sure not in the level of leopard spots in his hair.
It's not spotty, that's for sure.
Janela had that.
Yeah, and how well could that...
It looked good, actually.
It didn't.
When does that ever look good?
No, I saw it at spring break, and I was like, "Damn, that
Can
looks
we
really
define-
good."
Okay,
If I could do
you
it, I would do it.
no. See, right here, you shit on me for being defensive of our truth, and she's over here going, well,
She
you
went
know,
heavy on the fucking horrible Rodman hair on little white boy, and it's weird.
yeah. God, we give each other too much shit, and at
Well-
the end, we're all friends.
Well, I want to put my 2 cents in because everyone knows I
Yes.
love John Cena.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I love him.
This was the heel turn was what everybody wanted, just like what Clark said, but this isn't what we got. My thing is that it was really forced upon him. Now, had we seen fucking Dwayne around, it might have been better, but we get fucking Travis Scott. I still don't know what his rap's about. I still don't know, right? You're better off putting like someone like Flavor Flav, and then I fucking know.
Dude,
Sorry if that's an old person reference.
could
you
you
know.
imagine Flavor Flav coming out to assist John Cena? to
Yeah,
bust him
boy.
a double block?
That's my boy, John Cena.
No, they had the same necklace.
They
Yeah,
did.
but
They
it
did.
wasn't
They
a-
could rock it. See?
well,
See, I
one can
booked
tell
this shit.
time with that bitch.
I booked this shit better than they book shit. One
What
of
if
these
Flavor
days.
Flav came out, but his necklace had a lock that dropped
Mm-hmm.
into a fucking clock, or a lock that was a clock, a
Yeah.
lock clock?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure he could do it. You know,
This man is
that would
needs
be
to
the
contact
best.
us
Talk about a
ASAP.
hype man. I think John Cena's heel turn needs a manager. He needs some guidance, you know, because it's not cutting the mustard. No, I love John Cena. I'm embarrassed for John Cena. Let's be real. Like, I'm totally embarrassed. And I don't know, like he needs to lose the belt soon. Who he
Yeah.
drops it to, I don't know. Do I care? Not
No.
really. Not really at this point in time. Just not Roman Reigns again. I can't deal with Roman Reigns as champion. He needs to be humbled for a while. Phil Brooks doesn't need one.
Don't want to
At
see
all.
Rollins have it.
I don't.
Nope.
I mean, the problem with Rollins is his character's never done well with a championship. He just hasn't.
Yeah.
Like,
It's Cody, Joseph. Probably.
you know what? I think
Probably.
Cody is fine. What I really wanted, and I really don't think we're gonna get now, is I
Mhm.
wanted Orton to take it off Cena right before he left.
Yeah.
And then I wanted Cody and Randy to end up in a program together to lead up to Mania, because that's a fucking story that you can tell. And
Well,
I
that
wouldn't go so
could
far as to
happen.
say I'm embarrassed for Cena, like Amanda said. I do love Cena, and I am keeping track of it, but it is kind of like, this is the most babyface heel I've ever seen in my life, outside of
Yeah.
MJF. Like, these shitty MJF heels have got to go.
But at least shitty MJF heel is better than the Cena heel.
And
I'll die on that hill.
I kind of would want to see Finn Balor take a crack at it.
I don't see them giving it to him just because where do you go from there?
Yeah.
I don't know. They made a big deal
with,
about
like-
him winning the inaugural and then tearing a
Same
fucking
with-
muscle off his pack.
Well, same with
Well,
like having
yeah.
Damian Priest win it.
Yeah, then what?
Damian
Yeah,
was a
with-
miss.
With Cody, you can understand then what. Drew, I could even see a then what, but I feel like that for a Cena to go out, it's gotta mean something,
Mhm.
right? I could
All right.
see a Sami Zayn, but that feels a little much for Sammy. I feel like Sammy's gonna get the title that Jay has.
Yes. I'm with you there.
I could see a Roman, I could see a Cody, I could see a Randy, but I'm starting to run out of names after that. Like, those, you feel like it has to go to a big fucking dude. And to me, what's next? That's why I was like, if Cena's not making it to Mania, then what's the biggest match we can have at Mania without Cena? And to me, that was like Cody Randy.
Yeah. And there's nothing saying that can't happen, and that makes a lot of sense on paper.
I mean, it could, in that you could have Cody winning off Cena, and then Randy comes for Cody and said, "I'm fucking done with this."
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you can get, I don't know, because then you start fucking around with the numbers, right? And then you start getting to like, well, now is Randy like poised to already break Cena's record, right? Like, I don't know.
Right. because that's how I kind of felt it would go, is that it would end up at a tie, sort of end. But
Yeah. I mean, and ultimately my point was that at this point was seen as babyface heel turn and run. As they're counting on the days and the matches, I'm really like, okay, I'll catch the last week. Like, everything he's done so far has been such that, like, we're just doing this. It's very going through the motions. And I wanted more because it's like Griswold said, it's the heel turn we always wanted, but not the one we wanted. And this is it. Is in my mind, it's like, yeah, we all wanted to see what it would look like, and now we're getting it and going like, I guess this is what this looks like. Well, I guess I'll see how it finishes, because I think it'll finish well. Like, it has to at some point, And I think that all the fucking people out there trying to podcast being like, he said he was going to ruin wrestling, so it's so funny that all of his shit sucks now. Well, that's not what he meant.
Yeah, that's you were being very Scottish literal. You need to come back from that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't expect that. Is he going to ruin wrestling? Well, he might, because this shit's boring as hell.
Yeah.
But is what it is. Now, if Cody does somehow get it back, that opens some eyes on a certain dude who will come up from NXT.
It opens up the field a lot.
It does.
Well, comparatively to Cena.
Yeah.
Joe says Cody's the past guy, the generational babyface, and I agree with that completely. I just thought that you could get there by going Orton, but I mean, I guess maybe Cody has to be the guy to put down Cena, right? Like, it has to be the guy who stops it, but that then leaves a big hole for like, he's got to be the guy who saves wrestling, right? Like, whoever beats Cena, that's the story. He's saving wrestling.
I kind of feel like it would be better. I feel like it would be better set to have somebody like Drew. Like, I think Drew would be the better savior of wrestling in my mind, if that was the angle counterpoint.
I think character-wise, Cody's the most pure character that we have. I think even from a character standpoint, as much as I like Drew, there's a lot of like selfishness and ego in there. Everything's been about me, and I've been screwed, and you stopped me, and I'm going to get revenge on you.
That's like
where Cody's, and where Cody has always just been like, I just want to make my daddy proud, and I want to make the fans happy. Like, there's a purity there that kind of goes like, okay, he saves wrestling, and now it's pure again. I mean, and then everything else happens, right? Because it goes on for eternity. But if the story is that Drew saves wrestling, you just kind of go, oh, what does that look like, right? Because this guy's been so self-obsessed forever, and Cody's kind of like the selfless, not the self-obsessed. So,
well, it doesn't mean that he can't just lose it, right around the, use Drew as a gateway vehicle to have John shuffle his ass off into Hollywood, and then you have people that show up weekly on TV actually competing for the belt, rather than a guy who, shows up whenever he fucking feels like it.
But that need to go into like a Mania where Drew saves wrestling, and now someone has to save wrestling again.
Well, Cena's not going to be around for Mania.
That's my point. I'm thinking about, how do we get to Mania if Cena's not the champion going into Mania? Because easily you could say Cody Cena 2 for Mania, right? You could easily say that. But we know we're not going to get that because he's not going to be at Mania. So then it goes, well, what are we going to have at Mania that is still a payoff somehow to Cena? Right.
Well,
and he can't just pass the baton of ruining wrestling. It can't just be like Drew takes the title and goes, now I'm going to ruin wrestling.
I mean, he could. It just wouldn't go very well. I feel like Drew would be like, I'm going to ruin wrestling on Twitter. I feel like that would.
Yeah, that I could see. I could see
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck the IWC. Yeah, man.
Yep. No.
Yeah. Bored at Mania.
He's playing the little match 3 game.
Did you just say Boredom Mania?
Yeah.
Well, it would be Boredom Mania if your entire Mania is done by match 3 games.
Yeah, and then what we need to do is get our logo on the canvas.
I wonder how much piece of that canvas is. It's been mostly going to Saudis and chicken, so it's tough to say.
We got to fit somewhere between chicken and Saudis. I feel
I
like
don't know.
we're closer to kosher in some weird capacity.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I'm just trying to look on positive marketing.
I know you are. You're trying to spin the positivity, but right
Yes.
now I don't know if that'll work.
No.
I don't know. We'll have to check our budget
Where's that?
between Saudi and chickens.
And the budget said,
We're below chicken. Oh well,
yeah,
fuck.
no.
Well,
I have no interest in Saudi.
Well, then
If you were to tell me Ricky Stark Saints would win a belt in Saudi, I would say
because you can't go or what?
no. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it.
she just wouldn't want to because she'd have
No.
to be all hyper covered.
It's a long
And
flight.
one last little
That
bit
too.
I wanted to go into.
Yes, man.
Apparently-
All right.
Apparently, WWE
Mhm.
has come from backstage that they
Mhm.
want the fans not to cuss anymore.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts, people? Because
Yeah,
I thought this was
absolutely.
bold.
Yeah.
The "you fucked up" chants are so stupid. The "holy shit" chants are dumb. The "asshole" chants are horrible. Like, be more clever. Like, the idea that like you can't express any feeling at all without trying to get some sort of censorship going. Like, that's the other thing we're doing. If you've ever been to a WWE event, you know that half of it is you realizing you're in a TV production because they
Yeah.
do the commercials, they have the breaks, they have the fucking
Mhm.
cutaways, they have the fucking things in between. Like, hey guys, we're on commercial. When we come back, we're going to be live, do this and that. If we're going to play along with shitty heel turns, then we can play along with the fact we're on national TV and just say, you messed up. You know,
It's
like even instead of holy shit, what if they were chanting OMG, OMG? You know what I mean? Like, that works. It's fine. And we're all, oh God. I think that the chanting curse words is out of control, honestly.
It reminds me a lot of that beach ball. Like when Cesaro took and popped that beach ball, I could not have cheered a man harder. It's like you're selfishly trying to steal the fucking show and fuck you. Because that's not what we're watching for. We don't care about the audience. You're set dressing.
Dude, I mean, even the I would like to see also the we want tables chant goes away. How about you watch what we're giving you? This isn't about like do you want that? Do you know you want that? Or are you just fucking bored or something? You know what I mean? Like,
You still want that if that spot goes wrong and your favorite, can't come out for 6 to 8 months, and you were one of those people behind that chant. Is that really what you want? Table spots can go horribly fucking wrong.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, no. And at the same time, if they have a plan for the table and they have a spot for the table and it means something to the match, great. But I'm not going to start telling them what to do. I'm not going to start chanting, we want clothesline, we want backdrop. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like to me. You're trying to call a spot. Like, what the fuck? Get out of here.
You're not in the ring.
So me yelling, like,
fuck you, Ospreay.
fucking kill him, right? At Will Ospreay's opponent.
I mean,
I would really wish that would drive the storyline, but yeah.
I do feel like you have a legitimate gripe and legit heat involved versus some asshole who bought a ticket who barely knows who the people are in the ring. Huge difference. See, I validate your hate. My job.
Yeah.
On that note, I need to rest. Marsh, thank you for allowing me to be a talent rather than anything else. Amanda, love you.
We got to do last call.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys like
Stackhouse
to say shit you
show.
liked or something like that?
Yeah, we like to talk positive. Give us a positive thing. Tell us something positive. Something you liked, something you want to see more of.
I want to see more Stackhouse and shit. Stuff going on over there has been fucking sick. Him and the KJ stuff. I don't know if you guys have been keeping track of the Fuego, aka KJ.
Oh my God, KJ. Oh, that's what I want to talk to him about because I'm like saying, I don't know if you saw me at the corner of your eye. I was like right there. All
I wanted to talk
You
to
made
him
me
about
cry.
comic books, but
Well, no, we'll
Well,
get
we
to
can get
that.
through all
But
of it at some
that's
point.
the OG
Oh, yeah.
drinking buddy. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when I was at a GCW in Phoenix, I saw Fuego, and I told him, I was like, I feel like the friendship you and Sam built was kind of like almost the best thing for both your guys' career. Like it's been amazing to watch kind of from the outside. And he's like, I couldn't agree more. He goes like, partnering up with this guy's been amazing for me and all this stuff. And then so to see it turn so quickly kind of after that, because that was the night that they had the tag match against the Cougars.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was
They
where
did.
they tied Fuego to the rope and then skewered
Mhm.
Stackhouse. And so to see it
Yeah.
go from there to where we are now, it's
Yeah.
kind of like I feel like that. I mean, as much as I'm keeping track, I feel like I'm missing something in the middle here.
brothers fight.
Well,
You know,
I don't know. It'll come out because, in its own weird way, in GCW land, despite what people think, is they have a lot of creative control, from what I've been told. So I want to see more of it. I also even can say that I think that with Fuego, his friendship with Stackhouse has benefited more so than any friendship he had with Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
that is very fair.
Now I'm not, because I mean that was years and the vlog and everything. It didn't really do anything for him. They released him, and then he was out and doing indie shows and stuff. And now that friendship with Sam is just holy shit. It took both of them to a new level.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know what? If I had to pick one thing now to think about it, Natty's got a new book out. Karrion Kross has a new book out.
Is
I
this
want
till
more
August
of these. Is this what?
His book isn't out till August 9th.
Yeah, but they're out for pre-order.
Yeah, you can get them on
I
Amazon.
want more of these wrestlers to tell more of their stories. Like, a lot of them have experienced a lot of things that we'll never even imagine, and I think that hearing from more and more of them has been fantastic. And so, I think even them going in with in mind that this is not my only book, that this is just volume 1, I think would be nice too. It'd be nice to hear from even a Roxanne. She's a kid almost still. Like to hear how she even got to hear, you know what I mean? Like I know from through interviews that she was on Greyhound buses doing her homework on the way to shows. You know what I mean? Like she would get out of school early and head towards ROH show and be doing her homework on the bus and stuff. Like the grind she's been doing has been pretty spectacular. And it'd be interesting to hear more from her about how these things have impacted her, the advice she got along the way. Like, especially there's so many people who, like we've talked about before, this is their dream. This is what they want to do. Everyone's going about it a different way. The more stories we get out of there about how they were able to do it, I think the better for the industry, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm waiting for the book to come out, and I always want to place bets on who it's going to do it. Is which person who was in AEW who left or got released and whatever, who's going to spill the tea.
I'm waiting for Phoenix. He promised.
Yeah, but it's probably going to be in Spanish.
Yeah,
he said he was going to, but you see, his scenario is a little bit. That's a little different. There's some other people. I'm not saying Ricky, but there's some other people like Janela.
Janela should write a book.
There's quite a few. The other one who I think would spill tea, I think, is Britt Baker.
Oh,
Not fun to be one of the fucking outsiders, is it?
Yeah, she's bitter enough. It'd be interesting to hear her take on it too, because of how bitter she is.
Oh, I know. But not only that, how far up she was up Tony's ass.
Exactly.
So now it's like incredible. MJF. I don't think any of it would be true, but hey, whatever.
That's true too.
True too. Digi, what's a positive thing?
I am positive that Miss Amanda Jane did not reach through the virtual screen and choke the shit out of me. I'm very happy to be alive. She was close.
It was close.
My life flashed before my eyes.
Let me tell you, I've got one person to kill before you.
That, well, woohoo! Marsh.
Yeah, I do.
We need the bail monies.
Yeah.
No,
We
he's
need
like, I'm
bail
not pressing
monies.
charges because I deserved it.
All right.
Motherfucker, you're not going to press
Ah.
charges, okay? Even if I slit your throat.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Fantasy booking.
No, makes sense.
That's possible.
oh, I don't know what happened there.
Well,
And I'm just glad I got to be here, be part of the mix.
Yeah.
On that note,
Yeah.
I gotta lay
Guys.
down or it's gonna get bad.
Thank you for coming through and being our drinking buddy, guys. Come back for a brand new episode 1 right here in the dive bar of the IWC. That's last call.
cheers.
Cheers.
Producer Lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support and buy us a drink by putting the I in subscribe and reviewing our podcast. And cheers.
I would never have a drink